Good morning, Megan, George, and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is the Morning Roast for Wednesday, Hump Day, June 26, 2013.
Wow, we're there already, huh?
Yes, yes it is.
Wow.
Feel like a camel, don't you?
Yeah,
That Geico commercial trips me
We're
out
going every
time.
day. What the hell? Can't wait for Friday.
Yes, live from the Nut House here with Irv, DB, and Ed. There you go. It's going on 8:09 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia. It's I think 60 something.
It's what's the degrees out there?
Well, we know it's sunny. I'm having some difficulty. Have some computers slowing down a bit though. It's sluggish, but so far it's sunny. But we're supposed to have some scattered showers this whole week, according to the Weather Channel.
Okay.
Yep.
And
well, okay, it's 69 degrees. That's what you have. 69.
it's 69 degrees.
Yes.
It's cloudy.
Mhm.
No, it's not. Well, kind of somewhat. And my
Echo.
okay, here we go.
Umbrella.
Hey.
And we're trying to get it together here, folks. I'm sorry, it is Hump Wednesday, Saturday, whatever, Wednesday, and we still gotta wake up somewhat. Welcome everybody. Listen, I think this guy Funky Dillo doesn't exist.
No, he did. He said thanks for the show the other day.
Okay. Yeah, it's 96 minutes, so yeah, there's definitely going to be some rain later today. There's have clear conditions so far. It's 69 degrees with a high of 89 and a low of 73 degrees.
Good morning, Bean.
It's sunny for right now, but don't let those sun rays fool you.
Yeah.
You better get your umbrella
The
ready.
sky was falling yesterday.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Don't
What's up
bother
with
that.
you're still loading there?
Yeah, for some.
Wow.
It's the internet, man, because took me 10 minutes for the damn thing to come up, so we got problems with that shit.
Yep.
I thought it was my computer, but hey.
Well, a lot going on, I guess.
Oh yeah, there is some.
In the news.
There are some stuff going on. At least about BIB deputies issue a warning after arrest, kidnapping arrest. This is from Liz Fabian from the Macon Telegraph. A 37-year-old Macon man was charged with kidnapping Monday afternoon after allegedly jumping into a woman's car on Thomaston Road near Interstate 475. D'Angelo Sherrod Dennis was arrested at the Motel 6 on Harrison Road, where he had been banned from the property for panhandling, according to a news release from the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. Witnesses told investigators Dennis told the female driver that he needed fuel for his tractor trailer, but he said he forgot his gas card when they arrived at the gas station shortly after 2 p.m. He allegedly told the woman to drive to the motel, where she went and asked for the clerk for help. Dennis followed her into the office, started arguing with the clerk, and the victim ran out of the building and drove away in her car, the release stated. Deputies urged motorists to keep their car doors locked with windows rolled up and watch for people walking up to their vehicles.
And keep your gun close.
Yes, leaving enough space between vehicles at a light or intersection will allow you to make a quick getaway, the release stated. Yeah. Now, see,
That guy looks familiar. He does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but see.
May have been around during my stint at the LEC.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, if you how can you forget your gas card and you drive a tractor trailer? I mean,
No.
it's huge.
He didn't forget it. That was his lie.
Well, of course, that does a lot. You can't forget nothing that freaking big. I mean, it's not something you just get like $2 and $2 or $3 and bam.
Well, I got a
you
picture
can
of
go.
him coming up, so
You know.
as soon as I get this stupid internet stops fucking up.
Starts roaming.
Wow.
But that's a seafood platter senses. That should have your a seafood platter senses tingling like a mug. If someone says, "Well, I need some gas for my tractor trailer, but I forgot my gas card." Something that big, you should never forget that. I'm sorry. There's just no way in the world you're gonna. I mean, I'm sorry. Like a Rolls Royce with full flat tires, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it at all. But anyway, you know.
Wow. Well, what else is in the news there, Derek?
Well, the Lawrence County fatal crash victim has been identified. The Georgia State Patrol has identified an East Dublin woman that was killed in a 3-vehicle accident on the Highway 319 in Lawrence County Sunday. The GSP says 34-year-old Joni Stevens Clark was killed when the car she was riding in rear-ended an SUV waiting to turn left near Zion Hill Road. Clark's car then rotated into oncoming traffic and hit another SUV, according to the GSP, Georgia State Patrol. The driver of the Clark's car was critically injured, and 2 children riding in the car were also hospitalized with injuries. 4 people in the rear-ended SUV were taken to the hospital with injuries, as well as 2 people in the second SUV. Investigators are still looking into the crash.
I don't have the story.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. I can't find anyone. But there was a story. An officer was killed yesterday, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
in an accident. He ran into a bunch of construction equipment,
Mm-hmm.
and he was ejected from the vehicle.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
How do you get ejected from the vehicle if you have your seatbelt on? So he didn't have a seatbelt on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so why you go preaching, give me a ticket because I don't have my seatbelt on. We aren't wearing your damn seatbelt.
That's a
Double
very good
standard.
question.
Double standard.
Oh yeah, of course it's double standard. I mean, when someone goes through any type of ejection interview, obviously they don't have their seatbelt on. I mean, like the teenager who was driving the dune buggy,
Yep.
and they hit a sharp turn and they had to stop suddenly, and then they just flew out the vehicle. Always wear your seatbelt. I mean, if you're doing any speed that's faster than walking, definitely always have your seatbelt on. Always have it.
And don't forget the umbrella. Hey.
Well, I got some news regarding, I guess, the Supreme Court's decision about literally gutting out the Voting Rights Act.
Right.
And why this is important is because now this consolidation effort in Macon here may have a better shot. However, I'll read the story afterwards, but it started last night, and I put up a post with 2 pictures of Macon, one in the 1900s, early 1900s, and one in its current form. And I wrote, "Those who cannot remember the sins of the past are condemned to repeat them." Now, in fact, I was only repeating what Justice Ginsburg had said in her remarks dissenting against lifting the oversight of the southern states, to which voting at one time was nearly impossible for anyone of minority African American descent, especially in the South. Now that the Supreme Court has literally gutted that whole system, all of the southern states could revert back to its old ways, which Texas has already stepped up and said that they're going to continue to pass the laws of requiring people to have license and so on, all these IDs they're going to require in order for you to even register to vote, let alone vote. And so when I put this up, everybody seems to be chiming in. We got Charles Griffin. If anybody knows John Charles Griffin, he's the guy that runs and is one of the curators, I believe, of the Allman Brothers Museum here in Macon, Georgia. And he writes, "What's the point of this post regarding the 2 photos? Please clarify. And then I wrote, Macon's constant inability to change his politics. We're stuck in limbo. Not sure when we can vote for sure. It's ridiculous. And it seems that those individuals with the most vested interests are keeping their mouths shut as usual. That's what this post is about. Glad you inquire. Inquiring minds ought to know. And then he goes on and he says, this is now John, he said, change is a slow process. While on a positive note, there's work being done to get the Okomoki Riverfront project underway, plus efforts to continue to bring back Capricorn Studios. Meanwhile, College Hill corridor is booming. Irving, in fact, his money doesn't grow on trees, and it takes a lot of it to finance urban development. Mm-hmm. The Mulberry Street Lane project is moving forward at an accelerated pace. What it is you're dreaming about getting done, and why blame the political leaders for a national economic downturn resulting in closed business due to supply and demand? With all due respect, please show us a realistic map of the future if you have one to share. Please provide specifics and substance. He changed that because that's not what he initially said last night. All of a sudden he wants to sound, he edited that. And then with all due respect, I said, I'm not talking about money, John Charles Griffin. I know Macon has a lot of rich and poor here. The roadmap to the future starts with a free and open vote for change. The economic downturn has not affected a lot of counties and city towns, including Athens-Clarke, Gwinnett County, Augusta, and Dublin, to name a few. Maybe Macon should send a team to those areas to figure out what they did in their areas, make a turnaround that they obviously are enjoying even in a bad economy. John Griffin then writes, okay, Irving, the polls are accessible to voters, so what is the point? Hello? Where the hell are the polls accessible, John? The fact is the polls are not accessible. We don't even have a date. We don't even know where we go from here. Although, I'll bring up the story that just came out in the Macon Telegraph today regarding that. And yet they still, in that story, don't know what's going to happen next. And I wrote, contrary to your hypothesis, we don't even have a date to which we can vote. We don't have a clear decision on consolidation from the state legislature. You continue to bring up the revitalization efforts which are still underway. We should have been ahead and done a long time ago. What my point is, and let me be clear once again, when are the polls going to open? As far as anyone who knows, there are no dates in July, the month we were supposedly going to have a vote, except for possibly in November. Nothing is clear yet. It is ridiculous, and you know it. We're not sure if consolidation, which was voted on, will be the standard political landscape. Georgia bombed during the Olympics in '96 when it could have had won millions in funding, but instead screwed up. The politicians then sat on their hands and lost to Rome, etc. Macon has done nothing but lose its Museum Hall of Fame, the Braves minor league, etc., and the list goes on. We are so far behind trying to play catch up for years. I go downtown, which we did. We were downtown. There's not much to do. There's not much going on except a few restaurants and bars. Our music heritage has been lost to those who are no longer with us. We depend too much on these dead singers. We depend on the past, yet do not provide much for the current music wave now happening all over Atlanta. And the list goes on. Instead of justifying and arguing my point, you, of all people, John, should be supportive of what I'm saying, especially since the very thing I am addressing, you have been instrumental in working hard and keeping music alive. And then, now, let me read you the story that's now in the Macon Telegraph this morning. Tuesday morning, 5-4 decision on the U.S. Supreme Court to repeal part of the 1965 Voting Rights Act will affect the upcoming elections in the new Macon-Bibb County consolidation government. But late Tuesday, the question among local officials remained, what exactly will that impact be? Honestly, some of the pieces of the decision I'm not completely sure about, said State Representative James Beverly, Democrat of Macon. Others in the state legislature have widely varying interpretations of the ruling's impact. State Senator Alan Peake, a Republican of Macon, said he has been advised by Legislative Counsel that the decision clears the way for nonpartisan elections in Macon. Meanwhile, State Senator David Lucas, Democrat of Macon, says he thinks nonpartisan elections are off the table for this year. Bibb County Attorney Virgil Adams declined to discuss the ruling, except to say he's still reviewing it. As to local implications, I can't comment right now, he said. Bibb County elections initially were scheduled for July, after the Republicans in the local legislative delegation pushed through changes to the new government's charter to replace partisan elections with nonpartisan contests. But under the Voting Rights Act, Section 4, which was overturned Tuesday, the federal government used a formula based on decades-old data to determine which states need pre-clearance from the Justice Department for decisions about elections. Without a new formula, which would have been designed and approved by Congress, there's nothing to determine which states would need the Justice Department's pre-clearance, which is still under the law, Section 5. State Senator Cecil Santa, Republican of Macon, said the news release on Tuesday's ruling means decisions regarding local elections will be left to the more than capable hands of local and state authorities. He and Pete were the two members of the delegation who led the push for nonpartisan elections.
Okay,
in other words, they don't even know where we're going to go from here.
Yeah, that's what I know, because I have, I think, a story about that as well.
The very same thing. Yeah. Why don't you read that?
Yeah, the Supreme Court decision could affect, well, obviously could.
That's what this story is about. It could, but they still don't know.
Yeah, it says the original bill called for a partisan election in November, but was eventually changed to nonpartisan with an election to be held in July. Several local Democrats spoke out against the change, and the Justice Department became involved under the Voting Rights Act, but now the Supreme Court has declared that act unenforceable. So the big question in all of this is, what will this mean for the upcoming Bibb County elections?
I got the video.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Briefly, the Supreme Court's decision could have a huge impact on Bibb County's next election, including when the election will take place and whether or not it's going to be partisan. WGXA's Chase Ambrose has that part of the story.
It started with the bill to consolidate Macon and Bibb County. The original bill called for a partisan election in November, but was eventually changed to a nonpartisan with an election to be held in July. Several local Democrats spoke out against the change, and the Justice Department became involved under the Voting Rights Act. But now the Supreme Court has declared that act unenforceable. And of course, the big question in all of this is, what will this mean for the upcoming Bibb County elections?
Well, hopefully it's good news that we can finally get some clarification. It's clear that we don't need to seek pre-clearance for the nonpartisan and the move from November to July changes, and so I'm hoping that we'll move forward with a nonpartisan election as soon as it makes practical sense to set the election.
Our argument here in Bibb County was not about Section 4 and pre-clearance, it was about Section 5, which is the disenfranchisement of voters in a particular region. Now, the question that I have is, does Section 5, is it predicated upon Section 4? Because if Section 4 is stricken and it automatically gets rid of Section 5, then you don't have a legal precedent to stand on. What I'm hearing is, though, is that you can still talk to the Department of Justice and file a complaint under Section 5.
Elaine Lucas of Macon City Council led the charge against the July nonpartisan elections, and she says that fight will continue.
So I haven't had a chance to think about what the strategy will be, but I feel certain that there are a lot of people who feel just like I do, that there needs to be a meeting of the minds very, very quickly and a strategy developed to stall having that election in July?
Currently, there is no official word from the Bibb Board of Elections, which is awaiting a review of the Supreme Court decision by County Attorney Virgil Adams. Adams would not agree to an interview. His office says he's reviewing the decision and currently has no comment. Chase Ambrose, WGXA.
Representatives from the Justice Department were unavailable for...
And there you have it.
There you have it. You know, this stuff is serious because people seem to be blind, like John Griffin. Yeah, he keeps bringing up consolidation.
They see what they want to see.
Yes.
And if they see something that they don't like, they'll, you know.
They just turn and they just
right.
go
They
blind.
don't want to accept it. That's the problem. People need to accept a change. Maker's never going to change if they don't accept the change.
I know. It just grows stagnant, which goes to the thing: you're either growing or you're dying. And it's basically, I mean, don't mean to be gruesome, but basically, with this going on, they're basically slowly pulling the trigger on themselves with this.
Yeah, and this has been going on, Derek, for years. I mean, you have mentioned
decades.
Decades. And the other thing was that when I first got here, going on 4 years now, if not already 4 years. When I first got here, I went with David Kuzno. He invited me over to the big dome, you know, the biggest dome, copper dome in the world. And Ray LaHood was there, and they were allocating $7 billion for transit. Macon didn't jump for it, and he told everybody. He told them, get your act together. And he told everybody, stay in this room and talk it over. And you know what everybody did when he left? They ran out of that room like they yelled fire in a theater. I mean, nobody stood around and did anything. And that's exactly what that's exactly what I am talking about. Macon will probably never get its act together for as long as that kind of environment exists. Nobody knows how to take charge. We got a mayor who's as lame as all hell, who can't even handle his police department.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, what Tower Leonard was saying, it doesn't matter what the Supreme Court, the United States state, the voting has been stalled, which is something, I mean, those who don't have their seafood platter since it's tingling like hell, that should be a hit and a half right there. You know, so regardless of the bipartisan or partisan, the blacks got one thing for sure. Tower London says they will be able to vote at the time period that they wanted after the summer.
After they wanted, not what we wanted, not what we voted for.
Exactly.
You know, and that was my back and forth. By the way, Tower, if you go on to my Facebook page, you'll see I put 2 pictures of Macon, one in the 1900s, one in the current form, and I wrote what Justice Ginsburg said yesterday in the Supreme Court decision to gut out the Voting Rights Act. She said, those who cannot remember the sins of the past are condemned to repeat them. And all I had was John Griffin all over my ass, posting back and forth, you know, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, Occomoke River front, we're doing, and I'm not even talking about that stuff. I'm talking about vote. He's talking about revitalization. Which, by the way, all this money, where's it coming from?
Like Rocco was talking about, says gerrymandering the vote. He says, let's just bring back the literacy test and poll tax and all the other stuff they kept blacks from voting, like the grandfather clause and black codes and all that other stuff, and maybe brown codes, since there's a large Latino and Asian population growing in Georgia as well. They probably may be able to expand it if they wanted to, if they really wanted to. Especially like the grandfather clause, basically, if your grandfather or you have an ancestor that was a slave who by law couldn't vote because they were considered property and not exactly a human being, that you couldn't vote as well. They may say the same thing for other groups of people. Like if you were a legal alien or an illegal alien and you weren't allowed to vote, they may do that. They may expand it that way. You know. Just to keep it like English, like say you don't speak English, and they find some kind of way to keep you from voting because your ancestors didn't able to speak English. You know, as an example.
Yeah, well, of course. I'm sorry, Ed. You were going to say something.
Okay, no comprende.
Of course he was going to be mad at
That's one
you.
for English.
Tower of London. Of course he was going to be mad at you because you're not part of his clique. And the thing with John Griffin, I appreciate everything he's done, you know, in helping keep the Allman Brothers alive. But then again, I say, and I dare say,
Exactly, Rocco.
why didn't
Exactly,
you have
Rocco.
any kind of power or voice when the Museum Hall of Fame left? You said nothing. As far as I'm concerned, I didn't see anything on Facebook regarding that, John. You said nothing. What did you say about the Macon Braves, the minor league team leaving town as well? And so many other things that we failed at in Macon. That they were around, they're old enough to be around, they were the ones that were in power. You know, what the hell have you done except for now? You're trying to play catch up and then, oh, well, we're doing this, we're doing that. Well, where's the money coming from? If the money is available now, why wasn't it available then? And so, the only thing that I'm saying is, stop being in denial, you know? They're all in denial about what is going on in the city. Now, I went in a back and forth as well with Olin Reese. I don't know if you know who he is. He may be a friend of yours. First of all, he said, you're a black man, you should know. And I said, no, I'm not black. I'm Puerto Rican. You got it all wrong to begin with. And let's stop talking about, you know, the negativity. Let's stop moving forward. I said, okay, well, why don't we sit down and talk about what we can do? You know what? He all of a sudden changed the direction and said, did you meet with Joe Allen? So he's obviously a Joe Allen supporter. Right?
Right.
Now, I'm still going to hook up with Joe Allen. But it's not going to be a, you know, a kumbaya moment. It's going to be like, I'm going to have real direction. Like, how are you going to help these little black kids, you know, gain some kind of footing here in Macon, Georgia? How are you going to bring some kind of education to the table besides teaching them Mandarin? You know, who the hell wants to learn Chinese? The way they talk, they sound Chinese already. You know, I don't understand. Yeah, it's all bullshit. You know? And, yeah, the networks are still piling on Paula Deen. If you look at the, I put out the, you know, the court papers that they put out.
Right,
and if you read through that stuff, you can go on my Facebook there, Rocco, and look at the link. I mean, you yourself would be completely freaked out about what was said in that restaurant. And it was really her brother, Mr. Hears or Hires or whatever his name is, Bubba.
Yeah.
Really, her brother was doing all the horrible things, but Paula Deen was standing around knowing this shit. And plus, she said a lot of nasty stuff as well. So I would say that good for her, that she's getting what she deserves. You know, it all comes back to haunt you, my friends. You know, you do bad and you have bad karma, as they say, that shit comes back to haunt you and bite you in the ass. And she's going to lose more money just from reading that disposition, whatever.
Yeah,
deposition.
Deposition, yes.
It's pretty sickening. And as I was reading it, it reminded me of a letter that my brother once sent me that was so horrible that I sent it to other family members to see what they thought, and they said they couldn't even read past a couple of sentences. You know,
that's terrible. But speaking of, you know, what Ed was talking about, that we had, you know, Paula Deen, that's supposed to be like the hot, you know, button topic for today. What's going to be the next one? I said, I'm just going to put my vote in the hat. Which one's going to be the next one? It's going to be Monica Lewinsky. Because earlier this morning, she was on the morning news and she was saying personal items, including a negligee once owned by White House intern Monica Lewinsky and obtained during a federal investigation into her affair with then President Clinton, are going on sale. It says among the letters and clothing items are an extra large black negligee and a large blue velour hoodie, but not the infamous blue dress, which played a role in proving the president and the intern had inappropriate relationship in the 1990s. The 32 items at one point belonged to Andy Blyer, another married man with whom Lewinsky allegedly conducted an affair while she interned at the White House. In conducting his investigation into the president, special prosecutor learned of Lewinsky's affair with Blyer and took the items quote unquote, to examine as potential evidence, according to the auction house Nate D. Sanders.
I'm sorry, Rocco saying is the cum dress for sale?
No, they're not gonna.
Come on now.
No, it's not for sale. That's what I've been
Didn't she
told.
have a dry cleaner clean that shit off?
No, she didn't have a dry
I'm
cleaner.
a dry cleaner. That stuff has so much salt and acid in it that it can actually pull color off of fabric. Literally.
I'm quite sure it can, among other things. But aside of which, it says the items, many of the items, including a birthday card Lewinsky asked the president to write Bleier, as well as White House matches and chocolates, were given to Bleier by Lewinsky as gifts. Starr examined. The lot is believed to be worth between $25,000 and $50,000. Online bidding concludes June 27th. By Tuesday afternoon, the highest bid was $2,750. Starr examined each of the items as a lot of evidence in the impeachment case against Bill Clinton, Sanders said in a statement. But the items are currently owned by Kate Nason, Bleier's now ex-wife. Well, gee, kind of figure that. Clinton was impeached by the House of Representatives on perjury and obstruction of justice charges in 1998, but acquitted by the Senate and completed his term. So Lewinsky is currently believed to be living in the United Kingdom. She's living in Britain. Emails to her known representatives were not immediately returned. Well, gee, you have to think about it. She has to sell it because how she's going to make a living? I mean, you don't want to be. Who wants? I mean, no sane man or woman wants to be known as the greatest cocksucker of all time. I mean,
Right, really. I mean, when
she can never get a job. She can never get another job. Talking about what? You ain't gonna do me? You did the president, I said, but you can't give me one. Come on, I'll give you time off.
Well,
I'll give you a raise.
The problem she has is that she can go and dress in a bikini or in a whatever. They're not gonna look at her body. They're gonna be looking at her lips.
Yep.
They're gonna watch her lips move.
Ew.
They're gonna be imagining what it was like.
Yeah, maybe she could work as a boom mic operator or something, because she definitely was rapping on the mic, rapping on president's mic,
Wow.
doing the human beatbox imitation. I know, bad Derek.
Oh, Lord. No, actually, that was a noise it was making.
Oh,
Anyway, up against her face. Well. But anyway, Monica Lewinsky.
Yes.
Who would have known?
Yes.
Yeah, the dress is probably in the Smithsonian Institution.
Yeah, they should put it
I
in
wouldn't be
there.
surprised. Next day.
When she brought that dress to the cleaners,
Yeah.
she asked her, she said, the cleaners said ketchup or mustard or something. She said, no, come again.
Yeah. I think they couldn't remove the stain, honestly. I'm serious. Well, anyway, Derek, speaking from experience, Rocco says.
No, just from observations.
Yeah, sure, right. There's a guy who's every movie that he's in, it sounds pornographic.
Oh,
What's the new one? Strongwood, Longwood,
Goodwood.
Goodwood. Anyway.
What was that?
Goodwood.
Who's in that movie?
I was auditioning for it a couple of weeks
A
ago.
Wood movie.
Goodwood.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Morningwood yet?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Macon has got a stain on its dress that won't go away. It's been giving head for a long time. Believe me, and not getting paid for it. It's like a cheap whore. They can't get past their stupidity here, for God's sake. Everybody's running around like they're chickens without a head. Nobody has any clear direction of anything.
Like you're saying, so the dress is basically like political syphilis. You just can't get political herpes. Can't get rid of that sucker.
Exactly. Political herpes. That's a good one. Good morning, Misty Jones. I can only imagine. Anyway, so
Misty Jugs, good morning.
What else is in the news, Derek?
Oh yes, we got some We got a baddie right here. Monroe County Jail Secretary arrested on animal cruelty charges.
Oh my Lord!
An employee with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office finds herself on the wrong side of the law. 34-year-old Angel Aldridge was arrested and charged with misdemeanor cruelty to animals Tuesday. Aldridge has been suspended from her job as jail secretary.
Yeah.
Her arrest is in connection to a deputy call last week made by her neighbor. Deputies say they arrived at her home and found a dead dog and another dog without food that appeared to be malnourished. The surviving dog was taken into custody and turned over to Macon County Animal Control. Aldridge was released on bond and is currently suspended as the sheriff's office continues its investigations into this case.
You know, I'm looking at her face and she looks familiar. I think that comes with age, where every freaking body starts to look alike.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's that, but that woman looks familiar. And did you hear about the police officer? Of course, we talked about it yesterday. You know, I was thinking about that Miss Toomer. Toomer.
Yeah.
She's like a tumor in the police department. And by the way, as I was typing yesterday, so Daryl Jackson put out about Junebug again, and I made comment to it that the sheriff is probably going to keep Sutton on. Doesn't look like he's going to lose his job, although the sheriff did say, in fact, that he will probably never hit the streets again as a patrol. So when I mentioned that, within 15 minutes, I get a note from the sheriff on chat saying, "Hey, I heard you in the hospital. I'm praying for you, you know, while you convalesce." I think there's a word. Yeah. And I responded back. But it's nice to know that I got the sheriff on my side. You know, and I'm hoping that with that said, that at least, you know, and I believe that he's humble enough at least to take my advice, which is what I said, that Sutton should not even be on any police force whatsoever, whether sheriff, deputy, or whatever. But worst case scenario for us, that at least that he'll be behind the desk cleaning up and emptying out garbage cans. That I'm okay with that.
Urinals.
I'll deal with that.
Going back to the ruling, Supreme Court ruling, how it said it might affect voters in particularly minority voters in Georgia. It seems like it's going to affect other states as well, no doubt. I was just reading after Tuesday's ruling from the Supreme Court, says Attorney General Eric Holder shared examples of how the law prevented discriminatory voting charges. Specifically, he mentioned how it blocked Texas from adopting a new congressional redistricting map that would have discriminated against Latino voters.
Yeah.
As I was talking about, you know, like grandfather.
And that's where they mentioned yesterday. They're now going to go forward with that.
Yes, it says Holder also said the Voting Rights Act changed how South Carolina will implement a law requiring photo identification before being allowed to vote. Those changes, he said, protected black voters who would have been disproportionately affected. It says outrageous. Leaders at ground zero for the case, the state of Alabama and its Shelby County claimed victory. It says, quote, Governor Robert Bentley from Alabama says it reflects how conditions have improved since 1965. Court attorney Frank Ellis shared the idea that places will no longer, quote, be punished by the federal government for conditions that existed over 40 years ago. And then, end quote. On the other side, the American Civil Liberties Union's Lachlan McDonald issued a statement saying that the ruling poses a real challenge to Americans' fundamental right to vote. And NAACP President Ben Jealous called the decision outrageous because it makes minority voters, quote unquote, more vulnerable to the flood of attacks we have seen in recent years.
Yeah. And that's the concern, you know, right away they jumped on it. You notice how the people, the one that brought the lawsuit, Alabama, one of the most redneck, low-income states in the union, unable to, you think Macon is bad. I mean, those people have been in the woods for years.
Please, I've only been to Alabama one time.
You know, it's horrible. I mean, it's so poor, and so it reminds me of the opposite of New York. New York is dirty and gritty. Alabama is dirty and
rural.
Rural.
Country.
It's like a pig's den. You know, pig slop all over the place. Who the hell knows? These people can't get their act together, and all they do is bring up issues regarding how they want to vote and this and that, so that they can keep the state the way it is. So these rich people in Alabama, if there are any, can live in these exorbitant places, you know, with nobody around them. Kind of like the Unabomber. They want to live in isolation. And they don't want any black folk or any Hispanic folk around. And forget about Texas. Texas is another place that's, you know, one of the biggest states, right? It's what they call the Lone Star State.
Yeah.
It seems like it likes to work alone a lot.
Well,
And they got that nutcase, Perry.
It was his own country at one time.
Yeah, it was. And I don't know.
Yeah, it says the appeal presented the court and a shaky conservative majority with two of the most hotly debated issues in politics and constitutional law, which are race and federalism. It says it was a major test of Washington's authority and the extent to which the federal government may consider vestiges of voting discrimination that may still linger, potentially keeping some minority voters disenfranchised. In dissent, it says Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said Congress reauthorized the Voting Rights Act 7 years ago with overwhelming bipartisan support, and she said that the determination of the body empowered to enforce the civil rights amendments by appropriate legislation merits this court's utmost respect. In my judgment, the court errs egregiously by overriding Congress's decision. So she was supported by Justice Stephen Breyer, Sonia Sotomayor, and Elena Kagan. And
Wow. Well, there were 4 dissenting judges and 5 who were with it. I mean, they were
5 to 4.
salivating. And of all people, this Justice Thomas, man, that guy is about as ridiculous as they come. He should have been off that court when he sexually harassed that woman. I don't care what anybody says, he did it.
Yeah. Even if he did it, though, I still think she should have said something right then and there, not no freaking 10 years, because I just think it's just really opportunistic, very opportunistic for her to do that. Because it's not like she was a child and this happened to her, you know, like the Jerry Sandusky's where people waited 10, 15 years. She's a grown freaking woman. She should just get that right on the spot. That's not something you let it fester like some type of blister or wound or something like that. You got to nip that in the bud, man. Other than that, people start questioning why you waited so long. And people, start, speculating why you just happened to he's getting a job, a lifetime job.
Listen, that deserves a Godzilla sound with a big head, like Tower of London said. Ding dong. Oh, Lord. That's how we used to do it. Anyway.
I have some. Thank you, Ellen Macon. I have another story here.
Bring it up.
Macon Telegraph. Baby kidnapped from Florida found in Macon. Father arrested. Cell phone led authorities to an abducted 5-month-old Florida baby who was found yesterday afternoon in the restroom of a Pizza Hut on Spring Street. The Georgia State Patrol and Macon Police were tracking the infant's 18-year-old father through his phone signal when the trail led to the Waffle House at 840 Riverside Drive, authorities said.
Wow, that's the one we always go to.
Yeah, not too far. In the restaurant parking lot, Trooper William Schwab and Macon Police Traffic Officer Brian Faust found a 1998 tan Buick reported stolen from the baby's grandfather in Green Cove Springs, which is in northeast corner of Florida. The officers got word the suspect's phone pinged again at the Greyhound bus station and between the Pizza Hut and the Old Marathon gas station.
Wow.
When they went in the Pizza Hut, they found the baby boy in his car seat on the restroom floor and his father talking on the phone at the sink.
Ugh.
They arrested Alan Darnell Lyman Jr. of Round Lake, Illinois, who was wanted on multiple charges related to the baby's abduction just south of Jacksonville. Authorities in Clay County, Florida, reported the infant was taken from his mother shortly after 7 a.m. Tuesday. Warrants were issued in Florida for Lyman on charges of interference of custody of an unwed mother, fraudulent use of a credit card, grand theft auto, and petty theft. Investigators believe that Lyman was headed to his home about an hour north of Chicago after failing to get custody of the boy.
And he's probably having trouble with his mother, not getting along. He's a kid. How old is he?
He's 18.
18. Babies having babies.
Yep, literally.
He figures he's my possession. He's my bling bling. He belongs to me. He's like Vladimir Putin stealing the ring off of the Patriots owner.
Yeah, speaking
Thinks
of,
he can just go steal.
yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of Putin, I have a story of him about Edward Snowden still in Moscow. Airport transit zone won't be extradited.
Wow.
How about that? There's another kettle of fish right there. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin bluntly rejected U.S. pleas to extradite National Security Agent leaker Edward Snowden on yesterday, saying Snowden is free to travel anywhere, whenever he wants, and insisting that Russian security agencies haven't contacted him. Snowden is in the transit zone of a Moscow airport and has not passed through Russian immigration, Putin said, meaning he is not technically in Russia. After arriving Sunday on a flight from Hong Kong, Snowden booked a seat on a Havana-bound flight from Moscow on Monday en route to Venezuela and then possible asylum in Ecuador, but he didn't board the plane. Snowden's whereabouts since then has been a mystery, and Putin's comments were the first time Russia had made clear it knows where he is. Speculation has been rife that Russian security agencies might want to keep Snowden in Russia for a more thorough briefing, but Putin denied that. Our special services never worked with Mr. Snowden and are working with him today, Putin said at a news conference during a visit to Finland. Putin said that because there is no extradition agreement with the U.S., they could meet the U.S. request.
Wow.
Says Mr. Snowden is a free man, and the sooner he chooses for his final destination, the better it is for us for him. Putin said, I hope it will not affect the business-like character of our relations with the U.S., and I hope that our partners will understand that,
Wow.
quote unquote.
That guy needs to change his name from Putin to Pukin. Because all he does is keeps puking on the United States. And the other thing is, he's talking this bullshit. Oh, he's a free man. Funny, this is coming from a former KGB communist comrade, scumbag. All of a sudden, this is on Russian land, okay? And he says it's a no man's land.
But he's technically not in Russia.
Please. I bet you any freaking money, if somebody goes in there and holds up that hotel that Snowden is sitting in, that who would respond but the Russian army, right? Or the Russian police. I mean, for him to say it's a no man's land is just a cockamamie excuse for him to once again thumb his nose at us.
Yes.
And
he's free to go, but I cannot tell you what hotel he's staying. If I had to tell you that, I'd have to kill you. But anyway.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Once again, but look, I'm on the somewhat side of Snowden, where look, the guy, maybe he's self-aggrandizing himself. It is kind of ironic that he's choosing communist countries to go to hide from America, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff going down here that we don't know about. So I'm not going to take sides here. I think America needs to have some secrets in order to avoid, and I have always said when things were going haywire, America's really got to clamp down on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I'm kind of somewhat straddling the fence. But I'm with Snowden on some point, and I'm with the idea that I'm kind of somewhat concerned that he's carrying so much information, and all they have to do, he doesn't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. This guy looks puny. They can knock his ass off and take his computers.
Yeah, but he's probably one heck of a good marksman or something. You don't need to be swole up that do like this.
Yeah. Hypnotic,
hydroponic.
Good morning. Why don't we say hello to the chatters? We've got a few on. Might as well
hello
say
there.
hello.
Hello, Ellen, Megan, All Seeing Eye, Ashley 34, D's Nuts for You, Funky Dello, Misty Jugs, Paulo Abruzzi, Rocco Too Much, and Tara London, and Guest 193.
There we go.
Yes, I think I have one more story to talk about before we go to a break. We have
Yeah.
the states. We have
No breaks.
Oh, okay. We have State Patrol searching for a hit-and-run driver in Macon County. The Georgia State Patrol is searching for a hit-and-run driver that left a pedestrian in Macon County hospitalized Tuesday morning yesterday. The GSP says a person was hit on Highway 49 in front of a Macon State Prison around 2 a.m. The make and model of the vehicle is unknown, but troopers say there should be visible damage to the front end. The victim, whose name is not being released, was taken to a local hospital where GSP says they remain in stable condition. Anyone with information about the hit and run is encouraged to call the Perry Post of the Georgia State Patrol at 478-988-6740.
Now, this is Macon County. This is not Bibb County. This
Right.
is, and that's a confusing thing, you know. People get confused. They think of Macon County when Macon is really here.
Yeah.
I think they stole our name. You never know.
Well, yeah, they couldn't find.
I like to
another
find the
story.
history on how Macon County got its name.
Probably true. Yeah.
Somebody look it up.
Google it.
Yeah, Google
You
it.
got a computer, Reggie?
Somebody let me know.
You got a computer? Google.
Yeah, I should. We're 2 minutes away from break. Let's talk a little bit about the hit and run with this rapper guy, or whatever his name.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown. Oh my God. He's been cited with a hit and run, and he of course gets on Twitter saying, "Oh, you know, we exchanged papers and we did all this shit." The fact of the matter is that he gave a bogus information on insurance. He did not have his driver's license with him. And so not only is this guy abusive to women, he's like a woman
He's abusive
beater,
to
but he's
vehicles,
also
too.
a freaking liar. You know, although I like his voice. I have to say, I like his singing.
You heard the one about Rihanna
Somewhat.
and Chris Brown?
What?
I forgot the punchline.
That boy has got some serious issues.
Yeah.
Also, currently, he also like tattooed his house. You know, he's got a multi-million-dollar house.
And he tattooed his
he
neck.
spray painted these gargoyles on the front that look pretty much very cartoonish, like something you'll see in a subway car in the
Are they
70s.
anatomically correct, though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhat.
Somewhat.
Anyway, all the neighbors are in an uproar.
Yeah, but then I'm done with Chris Brown. I mean, he basically just crapped his career up. I mean, because of that, he's basically what I've read. He's going to be violating his probation and stuff.
Let him go back to jail.
I don't have a problem. I mean, I'm just through. I just have to go Wesley Snipes from Nino Brown on it from New Jack City. I ain't like his eye your ass anyway. Pretty motherfucker. Anyway.
Hey, that was good. That's the N word in you, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
But no, what I'm saying is literally that this guy is in so much trouble and continues to get in trouble. And all you got is all these little kids that look up to him with his pretty big smile.
Yeah.
And all the tattoos all over his neck.
Yeah, it's kind of like a walking contradiction because I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, as a as guy with my complexion, obviously this guy is really overcompensating because I mean, let's be honest, light-skinned black guys are just not that damn intimidating. So what does he do? He starts being all gangster. He's punching his girlfriend while Brown is punching him back because we know. I mean, hell, she punched a fan while she was in concert, so they're a match made in heaven, or Punch Out, or in a video game, whatever. A match made.
They need pills.
Yeah.
They need pop pills.
Obviously, both of them do. And now, what does he do? He gets tattooed up, looking like the love child of Dennis Rodman and stuff, trying to look more intimidating, but...
I don't know. All these punks. I don't understand the whole rap world and all that.
He's not a rapper.
Stuff
He's just
that
a
they
singer.
get wrapped up in.
He's just a singer. He's just trying to look hard like a rapper.
All right, we're going on break.
Yep, it's 9:01 right now. We're into the second hour of the morning roast live from the Nut House. It's 71 degrees outside and sunny with a high of 89 and a low of 73. Don't go away. Don't touch that mouse. We'll be right back.
A mother is charged with child abuse and murder after St. Charles County prosecutors say her boyfriend sexually assaulted and murdered her 4-month-old daughter. Fox 2's Anthony Kiko joins us now with why she is being held responsible.
Mandy, the St. Charles prosecuting attorney says the mother knew her boyfriend was a sex offender and gave him access to her daughter. This prosecuting attorney also tells me that she sent some disturbing text messages.
Since she's being charged, I'm glad.
Jessica Howell was charged with child abuse and second-degree murder Monday.
It's about time and good work.
The charges stem from the brutal death of her 4-month-old daughter, Ashlyn.
The things that we have to see in order to prosecute these cases, it's very, very disturbing.
St. Charles County Prosecuting Attorney Tim Lomar says Howell's boyfriend, Jordan Prince, sexually assaulted the baby, then strangled her to death.
They can't defend themselves. Nobody can speak for them. The one person in the world you think who would be able to speak for them and stand up for them and provide them security would be their parent.
As the investigation continued, Lomar tells me some text messages sent between Howell and Prince were found.
And in those text messages, she suggested and she encouraged him to commit some unspeakable acts.
Lomar says those unspeakable acts happened in a trailer at Deerfield Village the morning of December 3rd, 2012.
Every once in a while I see him carrying it in and out.
Johnny Zell lives across the street from the scene of the murder.
So it's just, it's unbelievable. I can't even imagine that happening.
According to the complaint, Howell was in the trailer when Prince sexually assaulted and murdered Ashlyn. He's charged with first-degree murder. Zell hopes both are convicted.
You hate to see baby killers go free.
Now, Prince and Howell are in jail. Each of their bonds are set at $1 million. All new at 10 what neighbors did after the murder. Anthony Kiko, Fox 2 News.
An alarm in an Ann Arbor area school led police to a startling discovery. A 41-year-old Columbus, Ohio man who ripped off parts of his own genitals while on hallucinogenic mushrooms. Officers responded to calls of a man screaming outside of Ypsilanti Middle School. They found him kneeling outside, bloody from the waist down, part of his penis missing.
And of course, for his own safety, they tried to subdue him, actually get him under control, which was difficult for them to actually do, but they did get him under control. The medical personnel was able to come in and start to give him medical care that he desperately needed, obviously.
What had he done to himself?
So not really sure how, but he had mutilated himself. So there was self-mutilation to his genital area. I'm not sure exactly what happened or how he did it, but there was definitely, like I said, there was a lot of blood everywhere. He had mutilated himself in his genitals.
Were they able to recover some of the parts?
Yes, I believe they did. I'm not sure exactly what. I mean, that would really be the medical personnel, like what they actually recovered.
The man had no history of mental issues or heavy drug use and said before visiting friends he picked up the mushrooms earlier in the day.
Still, I think he, as well as us, is really trying to figure out exactly what happened. There's not a lot at this point of why it happened or how it happened.
Does he remember anything of it?
Not to my knowledge, no.
He's recovering at University of Michigan Health Center. School neighbors were shocked.
Nothing happens around here.
Other than...
Yeah, something new.
That's disturbing, especially for them to be off some shrooms and do that. That's like, I don't even know what to say. It's painful. It sounds painful. Is he still alive?
Yes. He's recovering. He's still in the hospital.
My prayers go out to him, and I hope he's going to make it. Wow.
I'm Tammy Staples-Battaglia for the Detroit Free Press and Freep.com.
Baby, relax. I'll have this all cleaned up. I'll make you a nice dinner.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, baby.
What are you looking at? Get in here. Scrub it. Get in here. One, two, buddy. 2 cups flour. Stir. Don't speak. Faster. Stir. Wow. You like? I slaved all day.
When you smile and you sing, everything you can do and you bring out life them all. With a smile and a song.
reference to they just going straight Bambi's mama on these Disney.
I love
women.
that. I love that cartoon.
Bloom, bloom.
They lobbed off the head of that mermaid and
Snow White.
good stuff. That's the stuff they ought to be shown. Yeah, this garbage that Disney keeps putting out.
Yes, family has violence for the whole family to enjoy.
Wow.
It's 9:08.
Why
It's
not?
9:08 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. It's 71 degrees right now, sunny and 71 with a high of 89 and a low of 73. You're watching the Morning Rolls, the second hour with DB, Irv, and Ed, live from the Nut House.
Why don't you ask Aunt?
Uncle Salty?
Uncle Salty. And anyway, I'll leave it up to him to answer that question.
You should have seen what they did to Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, well, yeah, Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, goodness.
He doesn't know who he is.
Ridiculous. Anyway, so
I'm surprised you didn't have anything of like the Disney women, Disney princesses twerking in the doggone.
I'm sure they're gonna come up with one. They just redid that princess movie.
Oh, really?
The girl, remember? They updated her. They gave her a pretty dress and changed the whole idea went in the garbage.
Wow.
Remember that girl, the one with the arrow, the little archer girl or whatever?
Archer
princess or whatever the stupid game was. Name was.
What, you mean the video game chick?
No. The movie that was a big hit about that princess who was lowly, but she was kind of a
talking about
tomboy.
Brave, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, which is kind of, yeah. I mean, it was an okay movie, but yeah, it's kind of easy to be brave when you're not, when you're not obligated to be. I mean, that's just an added bonus. That's like, I mean, if she wasn't brave, I mean, it doesn't make her less of a woman. It's not a requirement of her to be brave. Now, it's a requirement for men to be. You know, it's kind of like me being able to cook. It does. If I didn't know how to cook, it doesn't make me less of a man. It just makes me hungry. It just makes me hungry. I mean, unless if I'm a chef, then yeah. Because now, if I'm a chef who can't cook, then then I'm in trouble.
You're the male Paula Deen.
Yeah.
Well, she's not a chef, is she? I mean, she makes all that buttery stuff and.
I guess in a way, maybe a pastry chef. If she has a business, then that would make her a chef. I guess, so to speak. Professionally speaking, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what people are saying. They shouldn't be so offended by a word. They should be offended by her actions and peddling this stuff, and then becoming a spokesman for the Diabetes Foundation thereafter, and never admitting and putting the two things together, saying, "Look, I've been the food that I'm serving is not good for people with diabetes."
Yeah, I mean, and even still, you could have something, I guess, some alternate ingredients in case those who are.
Well, listen, I'm all for freedom of speech, but you don't have freedom to abuse people verbally. I'm sorry. I mean, that's way over the line there. With freedom of speech comes some, you bear some responsibility. And so that's the problem with this whole Paula Deen issue, is that everybody, she has freedom of speech. Yeah, that's true. She could say the most disgusting thing that she wants to say. However, it's not right. It just isn't. To say things that, and I've said them, and I've regretted it. And so, where's her regret? Her only regret is that it hit her pocket. And that her whole institution that she so gingerly brought up, into a $17 million empire, is slowly withering away.
That's very true. That's very true. There were some stories about her in Jezebel periodical. I guess it's some online periodical. This is in Jezebel, and I think by Anna Breslau. There was some story. It says a new allegation that says Paula Deen paid black employees in beer.
Yeah.
It says after bailing on a Today Show interview Friday, which is actually she's actually was on earlier today.
Right. I want to see the video of that.
She moved it to today, this morning. Paula Deen will be appearing on the show Wednesday to attempt to convince a skeptical Matt Lauer that she totally loves black people because they're so delightfully black as a board and stuff. I don't know why they got Matt Lauer. They should have got Al Roker on there, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm telling you, you guys have to see the link that I put on my Facebook page and read the deposition that was filed in court against Paula Deen and her enterprise. And you guys would be disgusted with some of the crap that was going on between her brother, the lawyers, and Paula Deen herself, turning a blind eye to all this and even actually justifying some of it.
Okay. Here's a story. This is like from back from earlier this week, Monday. It says Monday. An African-American oyster cook who formerly worked at one of Paula Deen's restaurants came forward and said that during his time there from 2008 to 2010, Deen regularly made him and other black employees work the parties of her Savannah estate without pay. Instead, they were compensated with beer. It says, Paul and Bubba just gave us beer and alcohol, and I don't even drink. It was insulting and unfair. I was like, pay me. She knew I had just gotten married. I had a baby on the way. I needed the money, and I was the only one to step up and complain over it because half of the kitchen just needed their jobs. I was fired over it in the end because I'm not afraid to speak my mind. She said that she also allegedly threatened their jobs at the restaurant that they declined to work the parties. And one family member referred to one black employee as my little monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he goes on. And he goes on and on and on and on. It's just sickening. I was reading it. I'm telling you, I was like, oh my God. Now, the only thing that I would say is that why that woman stayed there so long. I mean, I know that you need the job, but geez, man.
It must be really bad. I mean,
Miss Jackson held on a little bit too long, especially when she saw that shit wasn't going down, you know, that she was being ignored or whatever, abused and verbally abused.
Yeah.
I mean, why in the hell does she stay on is beyond me. Talk about loyalty.
Yeah, loyalty. I mean, that goes beyond. I think only like hunting dogs are probably would have had more dignity than that. I'm just.
Yeah, well.
Mr. Jug says because she's an ass kisser.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, she's probably a friend. Well, the other thing is, remember, Savannah, like Macon, has a small town mentality. And so, like here in Macon, that, news spreads like gangrene here. I'm sure that in Savannah the same shit happens. And especially here in Georgia, it seems like nobody else has much to do except talk about each other and backstab each other. That she was, as it says in the deposition, she was ostracized. She couldn't find a job in Savannah.
Yeah.
And so it was really hard for her to get back up. And maybe that was part of the reason. You know, you live in these areas and only you know. It's like you don't know them until you live with them. You know? Right. You don't really know what Savannah's like until you live there. And I'm sure that anybody that lives in Savannah would give, a high five to what I'm saying.
Right.
That, in fact, Savannah has a small town mentality that's not only racist, but backstabbing and vindictive.
Well, yeah, especially if you're paying someone. I mean, I'm not even saying this on a racist point of view, but that's just totally unprofessional. I mean, if you're not going to pay them, just say that you don't have any money at this time, or like times are tough or something. But you got to at least give them some type of monetary compensation. Just paying someone in beer is not going to cut it. That's not even. I mean, that's not even on a racial point of view. I'm just saying, just from a financial point of view, that's just wrong. That's just straight wrong.
Well, I like that. Tara London. That is better than what Donald Trump said about Leona Hemsley, the queen of mean. He says the dean of mean.
Yeah,
I like that.
I just put in a YouTube video of a person who has a channel who he had some stories about Paula Deen, which is straight unprofessional, which transcends prejudice. It's just straight up just unprofessional. How this woman stayed in business is just beyond me.
Okay, bring it up.
Yeah, I just put it on there. I mean, I didn't want to put it on the show because, well, it's like 25 minutes. This is like almost a half hour.
Oh, it's a video.
Yeah, it's a video.
But
so
give us the premise of the video. What was it about?
Well, this guy Calvary is here. 09 has a YouTube channel. He found some stories about it. Like I said, and one of them were from Jezebel magazine, and they were saying the stuff, the unprofessionalism they were going on about, like how she paid these guys beer instead of money.
Right.
But the thing was, other stories. I mean, that's too bad to mention.
Well,
we don't even have enough time to even talk about. But Tyrone, do you think Paula likes dark meat or white meat better when she is cooking?
Oh, brother, that is a no-brainer. I think she likes white meat better.
Obviously, but
yeah. And the way she talks, I mean, she's been talking this way for years. You see interviews 2 and 3 years old where she's saying, "Oh, that guy's blacker than that blackboard behind me. Come over here, you're too dark, they can't see you."
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the guy looks like the driver in Driving Miss Daisy. He's got the cap on, and he's standing there in a frumpy suit.
That sound like them jokes that we used to say when we were kids. That your mama jokes about, "Ooh man, your mom, you so black, fireflies follow you in the daytime."
Carol London said no one would have complained if it was beer chitlins and watermelon. Carol. Bobo Bike 2 says beer isn't good enough. They deserve money. Do you even care about racism? Seems like you're in it for the quick money. Who you talking to, pal? We ain't getting paid for this. Shit.
No,
yes,
it's not.
Of course, it's a joke, Carol London. We know that. Paul is a skinhead, queen of mean. I mean, Dean of mean.
Oh man, come on. It's not a racially based show.
Paula Dean, unbelievable. Who would have known? Who would have known? She's more famous now for saying this shit than she was with selling and peddling her poisonous food.
Goodness. But who would you rather be, though? Paula Dean or Monica Lewinsky right now?
I don't know. That's a good one. Woo! Maybe reverse the roles. Let Paula Dean be famous for giving blowjobs to black men. How's that?
Wow. Well, I guess that would be true since...
Clinton was our first black president. Isn't that what they said?
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah, according to Toni Morrison, yeah.
Anyway, what else is in the news? What else is going on?
Oh yes, it has another local story. Former councilman to be released from prison.
Oh
wow! So former Warner Robins City Councilman John Williams is suspected to be released from federal prison custody today. Williams was found guilty last year of extortion. Prosecutors say Williams used his position in council to get a $1,700 kickback from the sale of a $21,000 truck to the Warner Robins Police Department. He's expected to be released from the center where he's being held sometime today. WGXA reached out to his representatives and his family, but they could not be reached for comment. That's where the story came from the News Central at WGXA, Fox 24, ABC 16, the ABC and Fox affiliates for Macon, Georgia. And also in other news, Bibb County test results well below state average. Not so good. Not really good for Bibb County Board of Education. It says statewide test results for students at public schools in Bibb County were significantly below average, according to the school system's deputy superintendent. Criterion Reference Competency Test, or CRCT, were released yesterday, Tuesday. Susan Griffith Zebart says although the students' CRCT results were lacking, they did show significant improvement. In all 6 grade levels that were tested, Griffith Zebart says improvements were posted in reading and social studies. She says 4 of 6 grade levels posted increase in math of more than 5%. Griffith Zebart says a problem area for Bibb County schools is English and language arts, but areas that showed decreases were all slight.
Wow.
So I mean 5% is, I guess, is good. Good increase in math though, but 5% that's hardly that's hardly a blip in the radar, don't you think?
No, what else is in the news?
Yes,
Kids with disabilities take to the water.
Yes, from Clinton Bourgeois from WJXA. Says there's normal kids having normal summertime fun they don't usually come across. It says it's a chance to come down to and spend the day in the lake and try a range of water sports that they wouldn't normally have a chance to try, says Gillian Sharp of Blaze Sports. So basically, kids are trading wheelchairs for jet skis made possible by Phil Martin of Adaptive Aquatics in partnership with Blaze Sports.
They're trading in their wheelchairs?
Well, just for a day. Basically, kids who are wheelchair bound are able to ride on these jet skis.
Yeah. Unless they live in Waterworld. I mean...
Yeah. For a while, the two have been bringing joy to kids with disabilities, not allowing their disabilities to restrain them any longer. It says kids like Hunter Ruiz, who was diagnosed with atypical cerebral palsy with dystonia.
Yeah.
Hunter had his eyes on his jet skis since the moment he had arrived. He said, we went on a top speed of 36 miles per hour. I got off and I was saying that was awesome, he exclaimed. Smile on his face as they docked on the jet ski was only matched by his mom. Says obviously his mom says, I thought we'd never get an opportunity to get him on a jet ski. I mean, it just made her heart smile seeing him out there, as she says.
Yeah.
Josh Jones, who also was a part of the activity, he lives with spina bifida. It's his fourth time at the lake going to this program. Says the group hopes to return to Lake Tobosoffke in July 30th next month.
Good.
So any child with a disability is able to participate, but there is a waiting list. So for more information, just visit the Blaze Sports website. That's BLAZE, Blaze Sports website.
What about, I mean, are there lifeguards on this? I mean,
Yeah,
these
of
kids,
course.
God forbid, if they fall off this jet ski.
Yes, they have lifeguards there, of course.
Okay.
And plus they have them. Plus it's required by law to wear, if you're riding a jet ski,
Right.
you have to put on a life preserver.
That's right.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Well,
so we do we do have good news.
Yeah, we do. Occasionally.
Occasionally.
Very occasionally, but we have it. By the way, speaking of good news, New England Patriots player Aaron Hernandez has been handcuffed in front of his house and placed into a police car. Those of you who know the story about this guy, Aaron Hernandez, he's a football player from
New England Patriots.
From the Patriots,
Mm-hmm.
the same team that Vladimir Putin robbed the ring from the owner from.
Yes.
See how this all plays in? Oh. But this guy has been the subject of an investigation regarding a friend of his who was killed about a mile from his house. He destroyed his computer and destroyed his cell phone for whatever freaking reason he's had. And he's just another one of those football players who likes to get themselves in trouble. Once again, I go back, Derek. What in the world is going on with Major League Sports? All these sports figures are going to hell in a handbasket left and right.
Well, having a whole bunch of money, millions of dollars, handed them too quick, too fast. Even though it's legit, but when you have that much money that quick, I mean, you pretty much feel that you're bulletproof. You're invincible, so to speak. You know, all seeing answers. Yeah, cocaine is a hell of a drug. Yeah.
Tower London is funny as hell. He says, picture that, a guy pushing a wheelchair-bound person to the pool. Do your lap, sonny. I'm going to get you thrown off the air for that one. Actually, while I was thinking about that, I was thinking once again, not to make light of this, but all these towns that are getting flooded, I mean, this is good practice, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Get a jet ski and go down a block that's been flooded.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry's like, oh, yeah. He's taking it serious.
I'm just saying, you just got to be careful,
Well, yeah. What else? Do black people really watch Paula Deen, or is this just a case of reverse racism? No, they actually do watch her. And they love her.
Yeah, I mean, they do, but simply because, why? Because Paula Deen is good friends with Oprah.
Yeah.
Oprah's like, That's why a lot of black people, a lot of black women do, obviously watch it.
Well, they
because of
like her because of the way she talks and, you know, whatever.
Reminds them of the.
She likes to use the word y'all a lot.
Y'all, and she cooks a lot of stuff.
She cooks a lot of stuff.
A lot of butter that's a lot of fattening for us because
Yeah.
there's a lot of fat black folks.
Yep.
I'm just.
Yeah, and our child London says, of course they watch. She pays them with beer. Yeah,
Yeah, drive you to
Yeah.
drink, huh?
And then Too Much says the sports people are just jealous that Justin Bieber's getting more press than them. You're right. And he's just as much as a bad boy. And isn't it funny that it took a football player, what's his name, to go after him?
Keyshawn Jackson.
Yeah, he's probably the only football player in the history of football who's like half decent.
Yeah. Played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, helped them get a Super Bowl ring when they beat the...
Of course he wanted to bust Bieber's ass. He was mad.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the thing, I'm trying to figure out how in the world he was able to catch up with. I mean, Justin Bieber was driving a freaking Ferrari, and Keyshawn caught up with him with a Prius. I mean, he must have had it on the floor. He must have been a lead foot, just
Yeah, and he lends his cars to these little punks. That's the problem. He leaves town and leaves cars to these little punks that drive around in his car. No?
Wow. Well, speaking of juvenile delinquents or something like that, there's a California man faces 13 years in jail for writing anti-big bank messages in chalk. Yeah, you know, like a kid. Jeff Olson, a 40-year-old man from San Diego, California.
That's not the minister.
No, that's just Joel Osteen.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeff Olson. Yeah, Jeff Olson, a 40-year-old man from San Diego, California, will face jail time for charges stemming from anti-big bank messages he scrawled in water-soluble chalk outside Bank of America branches last year. The San Diego Reader reported that Tuesday that a judge had decided to prohibit Olson's attorney from mentioning the First Amendment, free speech, free expression, public forum expressive conduct, or political speech during the trial. With that ruling, Olson must now stand trial on 13 counts of vandalism, charges that together carry a potential 13-year jail sentence and fines up to $13,000. So
Wow.
a year per count and plus $1,000 a count. Wow, he got off easy with the fines. Oh my gosh, Olson said on his way of his court out of Tuesday, "I can't believe this is happening." In an interview with San Diego's KGTV, Olson maintained that quote-unquote free speech is protected and said that he was encouraging folks to close their accounts at big Wall Street banks to transfer their money to local nonprofit community credit unions. Says the Reader first broke news of the case over the weekend, reporting that Olson and his partner had been active in the campaign to encourage people to move their money as early as 2011. During one protest outside of a Bank of America branch, they drew the ire of Darrell Freeman, vice president of Bank of America's Global Corporate Security, who accused them of running a business with their demonstration. Wow, Olson later began showing his opposition with chalk drawings outside Bank of America branches. Security camera footage from the banks apparently recorded his actions and eventually got a call from San Diego's gang unit in August 2012 when he gave up the artistic protests. Wow, that's
You know,
writing stuff on a
they
chalk
get on
like
this
a kid.
guy for doing this, right? But yet, you think about what's happening in Congress.
Yeah.
Would you believe they're spending over $2 million on coffee and donuts? Coffee and freaking donuts. And guess who's paying for it? The taxpayers are paying for this.
Mm-hmm.
And they got busted somewhat. And during the time they're making the story, two guys come out with two gigantic platters of donuts and bagels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they walk in the hallways and they busted them right there. And they were going to throw those away. I mean, you talk about, they get on this guy over chalking something. And yet, nobody's saying anything about the Senate spending millions of dollars a year on coffee and frickin' donuts. Why can't they buy their own?
I have no idea. I mean,
this country's all screwed up, dude.
I mean, unless there's a Krispy Kreme or a Dunkin' Donuts like downstairs in the
No, we'll let them go buy it. If they have it downstairs, let them go buy it. Let them go pay for it. Why are they footing the bill? Why are we footing the bill? Why are people footing the bill? The United States government, the taxpayers. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they may not be under the Capitol Hill, but I'm just saying there may be a Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts somewhere, and they're probably just using, like, I don't know, maybe their congressional credit card or something something like that and using that money that taxpayers pay them to get those donuts. It's like, it's just crappy.
It's freaking unbelievable.
Yeah.
And this guy, once again, you know, America's getting to become a police state.
Yeah.
I mean, you take a look at some of the police departments now in the big cities. They all look like military camps. They come out with tanks and almost like anti-aircraft.
Well, a good number of the
gunfires,
good
and
number
all
of the law enforcement do come from the military. So what
I
do you
know,
expect?
I know, and half of those guys have post-traumatic. Lord only knows. Only later will we see that, in fact, we're getting a lot of shootings and beatings because some of them may see us like Taliban.
Yeah, that's true. Says what's his name said with that guy with the drawing a chalk on near the banks that would I don't think that would be considered vandalism if because it washes off. It won't go rain. It wouldn't be considered vandalism. I thought that too, but
right. I mean, it's chalk. It's gonna rain away.
Yeah, if it's raining like it's raining here, it's definitely gonna wash away.
Yeah, not only that, I see kids do it all the time. How many times have I passed property that the kids write and draw and all that on the ground? And it's kind of nice to see because at least you know they're not doing it in spray paint.
Thank goodness for that. Yeah.
Definitely. Although it could be a leader to that later on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Just like they say about marijuana.
Yeah, being a gateway drug.
It's a leading drug, or leads you to stronger drugs. Anyway, what else?
Well, yes. For those who are lacking cash, there's a reward offer for police impersonators.
There you go.
There's a $5,000 reward is offered for anyone that can help police locate two men who impersonated being police officers during a home robbery. The incident occurred on Wednesday, June 12th, at 5100 block at Log Cabin Drive. The investigators say two suspects arrived at the victim's home, pounded on the door, and shouted, "Police!" The men were wearing what appeared to be local law enforcement uniforms. Once inside the home, the suspects restrained the victim and stole an undisclosed amount of money. If you have any information on this incident, you can call MPD at 751-7500 or Crime Stoppers at 1-877-68-CRIME.
Wow. Okay. So keep an eye out for fake police officers. And you may get some money.
Yes.
It's like lotto.
Up to $5,000. Incredible.
Anyway, what else is in the news? Georgia laws, what?
Oh yeah, Georgia laws could be in limbo with court ruling. In Atlanta, Georgia officials have reacted cautiously to the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling on a key provision to the Voting Rights Act.
Yeah.
It says Georgia has had to get federal approval for election law changes from polling location to district lines. The court didn't strike down the pre-clearance rule itself, but the justices invalidated the formula used to determine what states submit their changes. The question is what that means for new laws that Georgia officials have submitted to the Justice Department but not gotten a decision. Attorney General Sam Owens praised the court's ruling in a statement but didn't say how he interpreted its effect on pending changes. A spokesman in Secretary of State Brian Kemp's office said the state's top election lawyers are reviewing the decision. That's pretty much what we have. It's 9:36 a.m. so far. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia. It is now 75 degrees and actually creeping up, getting hotter and somewhat sunny for right now. The clouds are starting to surround the sun. It's getting kind of cloudy.
They're coalescing.
Yep. Definitely.
Coming around.
Yeah, coming around. It's
kind of like a
like there's an upcoming storm.
Like a blood clot.
Yeah, I guess. With a high of 89 and low of 73. It's getting closer, so anyone need to get your umbrellas. At the same time, if you're indoors, definitely be BFF with your air conditioner or fan or whatever you have to keep cool, or glass lemonade, what have you.
Immigration passed, didn't it?
I think so.
Well, that's another issue. I don't know. I still don't understand why this country is so big on trying to deal with immigration when, you know, they're so against this, they're so against that, and yet this country was built on immigrants. I don't get it.
Yeah.
America is like an Indian giver. You know, they killed off all the Indians and became Indians themselves.
Yes, so to speak.
Right?
Yeah, so to speak, yes. Yes, definitely.
Anyway, what else is in the news? What do we got? I'm looking around and I'm trying to find something interesting to talk about because a lot of this crap seems, let's talk about abortion. How's that? Well, what the hell? Abortion dies, the abortion bill in Texas, by the way, dies amid chaos. You know, there was this woman who was a senator, I'm trying to remember her name, and she was doing a filibuster talking, she's wearing sneakers, and talking to Republican legislator. She did a filibuster, Wendy Davis, Senator Wendy Davis, was standing there for God knows how many hours, and right at the last moment, it just all fell apart for her.
Wow.
And all that back-breaking talk and bullshit that she was dealing with went for naught. The only thing she wound up with is with a back pain, you know, and humiliated. But it was that guy who talked about rape, you know, rape only happens, he was talking about rape again. That stupid guy that brought the bill to the table, I'm trying to remember who he was. These are all people that God knows, we forget their names immediately because they're not worth remembering. And look, I'm not an advocate for people getting abortions. I think they should avoid the whole damn issue and wear a condom or take the pill. But there are conditions that happen that, you know, where women are raped. Although I also say that they need to go and get checked almost immediately if they are raped, to avoid the drama, you know. And, you know, then again, there's issues that women, when they are raped, it's a horrible, traumatic experience that some of them don't want to even relive or touch or talk about. So there's issues there that are so, you know, that is so traumatic that we as those who, you know, stand by and look at someone who's been raped should be the last to speak on this. But and so this guy then speaks on it, and it always seems to be the guy that talks about abortion and talks about, you know, rape, and yet this woman was put in as a token, you know, face, because they knew that if it was the guy who originally proposed it would be talking, this thing would have gone nowhere. Well, guess what happened? It went nowhere anyway. And so I'm glad that they stepped in, those people that to cut it, because they would have basically shut down every abortion clinic in Texas. And again, I'm not for abortion, believe me. I'm not for it. I think it's a horrible, traumatic event for anybody to go through this. I don't think women walk around saying, yeah, I like abortion. I don't think anybody likes abortion.
Regardless of their gender.
But once again, I mean, it's in the Constitution, right? It's a constitutional right, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's not an amendment.
It's an amendment.
It's a law. It's just not an amendment because we have 26 amendments.
Right, but it's an amendment.
It's a law.
It's a law.
Yeah.
But isn't it constitutionally protected?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the same thing, I guess. It's just a wording or whatever. It's legal until they overturn that. You know, there's nothing to say.
Yes.
Other than just follow the rules.
Yeah. In other news, I do have one about a Milledgeville barber sentenced to 64 months in federal fraud case. A Milledgeville barber was sentenced to 64 months in federal prison on Tuesday, months after he pleaded guilty to forging tax returns so he could claim refunds that didn't belong to him. Maurice Hester will also get 3 years of supervised release. He pleaded guilty to charges of filing false claims against the government, wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, and theft of government property. Judge Mark T. Treadwell also ordered Hester to pay $32,129 in restitution and a $700 mandatory assessment fee. Federal officials say that in a statement that Hester listed his profession as authorized agent while he was filing illegal tax returns and working as a barber. In the statement, U.S. Attorney Michael Moore said that when Mr. Hester stole from the government with his tax and identity theft scheme, He didn't steal from some faceless entity. He stole from very good law-abiding, tax-paying citizens.
Yeah.
It says the U.S. Secret Service and Internal Revenue Service handled the investigation.
Wow. Well.
And in one case, he tried to claim a refund of more than $600,000.
Well.
Over $500,000.
Amen. Well, I just got a message from somebody to go on another show, which is ridiculous because he knows I'm on this show.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to mention it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy. I just got a message on Facebook from this individual saying, come on my show, when he knows that I'm on my show. You know, that's kind of like, it's kind of like in your face. Don't even mention his name. It's not
He's
worth
got nobody there.
But anyway, so it's kind of ridiculous.
Exciting.
I mean, I'm not going on his website saying, hey, come on my show.
I want to go watch him.
If he wants to come, let him come. But once again, you know, it's ridiculous.
Whatever, Toto. I was not stopping, wasn't watching porn. At least.
Anyway, let me see. Kickstarter seems to be hurting. Many people are not getting the donations that they were asking for. And this might be the reason. He's talking about how a guy went on Kickstarter and wrote a book on how to sexually assault women. And he made 3 times the amount of money he was asking for.
Yeah,
that's how crazy people are.
Yeah, it
dude.
says a lot of feminist groups are calling for the boycott of Kickstarter. It says, and
I don't
Kickstarter
blame
seems
them.
to be hurting. It says many people are not getting the donations that they're asking for, and this might be the reason why.
Yeah. Well, Turkish Jew says Paula Dean, the new CEO of the Black Channel. Well,
new CEO of the Black. What do you mean, BET?
And
wow.
Yep. Anyway, let me see. Do you want me to go over there and have fun with it? Go.
Yes.
Oh, he's gone. Very good.
Okay.
And Mr. I have to shoot to thanks.
Look at band.
Okay, you talking about BET?
I have to scoot. Thanks for the laughs, Misty Judge. Goodbye, Misty. She's gone already as well.
Okay. I do have one other story that I found.
Bring it up.
Says family's fury as a woman, age 22, dies in gym bathroom after male employee refuses to enter locker room. Says Emily Hamlin slumped to the floor in the toilets of Planet Fitness. Collapsed during an early morning workout in February 2012. The lawsuit alleges a male employee on duty to refuse to enter. Also claims there's a 4.5 minutes before 911 was called. Mother wants to know why no one helped her. Basically, a 22-year-old woman died in a New York gym bathroom after a male employee refused to enter, a lawsuit claims. Emily Hamlin, age 22, slumped to the floor in the toilets of Planet Fitness following an early morning workout in February 2012. Her collapse in the locker room at the Bayshore Gym was witnessed by fellow gym member Stephanie Dick. It says, I heard a flush, then a thud. Ms. Dick recalled in a sworn affidavit reported to the New York Post. It says, I saw a woman's arm drop to the floor, followed immediately by a loud snoring sound. Ms. Dick said she ran to the front desk to get help and spoke to a gym's employee, Sean Higgins. He said he didn't know what to do and he wasn't allowed to go to the ladies' room. Ms. Dick swore in a sworn affidavit. Ms. Dick says Mr. Higgins was frozen to the spot and looked scared and confused. She claimed Mr. Higgins said that he was the only person working and that a girl was due to being her shift, although he was not sure when. He says, I want to know why no one helped her, said Miss Hamlin's mother, Janine, age 52. Video footage from the gym obtained by the Hamlin family lawyer, Scott Sharna, shows Higgins eventually picked up the phone, dialed 911 4.5 minutes after learning of Miss Hamlin's collapse. Planet Fitness employee Kristen Smith arrived and immediately checked Hamlin's pulse. She found it weak, quote unquote, Mr. Sharnas told the New York Post. Mr. Sharnas alleged that Smith knows CPR but did not perform it. Miss Hamlin was pronounced dead at 6:03 a.m. Says the Planet Fitness lawyer sent a letter to Mr. Charna saying that the gym is not liable for Miss Hamlin's death. Wow. That is
okay. Well. Thank you, Seaflug, for being concerned about my health. Tao London said Donnie looked bored. At least one eye did. The other eye was looking somewhere.
What he ran out of what he ran out of cigarettes to roll up.
Yeah, why don't you give that advice to Donnie Curry? Anyway, because he actually sits there, rolls cigarettes, and smokes all day as well.
Mm-hmm. But what did
I
you
said
about-
hi and wished him well in his recent stroke, and he replied, "Hello, Tara London," and then I said, "Going back to the road."
But what do you think about this? The woman that died at the Planet Fitness gym. Even still, I mean, what can you do? I mean, basically the guy's hand was tied though. But even still, even if he would have asked 911, I mean, he was in a no-win situation because one, being a man who works at a gym, a unisex gym, he can't enter a woman's locker room. So if he would have tried to help out, he would have been in trouble. And two, if he tried to move her and she would have died from injuries from that trying to move her, he would have still been screwed. So what can he do? I mean, Ed, what do you think, Irv? I guess, you know, I mean, granted, I'm glad he didn't dial 911, but, you know, then again, so could, I mean, I think calling 911, I don't think that would have done a bit of good. I don't think he should be charged for it because he knows that if he would have been, he can't go into inside a woman's gym because he would have been sued. If she would have lived, he would have been breaking the law anyway. Just, why did he have to get into the gym? Well, that's where she was. She needed help. You know, if he would have gave her CPR, he would have been fired because he broke the law because you shouldn't enter a woman's gym. But, you know, he saved her life. So what can you do?
I don't know. What will you do? What will you do? That sounds like the guy, remember?
Carl Martin from the
yeah,
American
Carl
Express cars.
Martin. You're so good, Derek.
American Express cars, don't leave home without them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I watch a lot of TV.
Let me see. By the way, DB, Tara London saying, do the white man voice. I like it.
Okay.
What's the white man voice?
You know, when I talk like this all the time, you know, it's quite, you know, it's quite spectacular. There's people think that I actually talk like that when I'm at home.
That's not much of a change. Some fishermen spotted a 6-foot-high tsunami, wave in New Jersey, I know.
Yeah.
And they said 6 feet isn't a lot, but boy, that would have been horrible if that thing was like the one that happened in...
You know how many pounds of pressure are coming at you at 6 feet?
Yeah, I know.
And you knock your ass and your boat over.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
Well, it's a hell of a lot taller than I am.
Hey, Tara London, I want to ask you a
Everybody's
question.
taller than you and her.
Oh,
Well, what would you...
Even Honey Boo Boo.
Tyler, what would you say? What about this guy, Mr. Smith, at the Planet Fitness gym, who basically wanted to give CPR, but he couldn't because this woman collapsed at in the women's locker room, but he couldn't because men were not allowed to enter the women's locker room, but he called 911, but she ended up dying, and you know, should he be?
I think it's ridiculous. I think he should have just went in there. What's the big deal? I mean,
because he would have been fired and stuff, and if say she would have lived, you know, somebody would have tried to. Well, actually, they're suing him anyway because
I don't
you know.
think so. I think he was just too paranoid, like I know some people are.
Well, yeah.
You know, come on. You know, lighten up. Just go in there. Shit. What's the big deal?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I went in a women's bag. He's afraid of, I'm going to get arrested. No, you stupid ass. Get your ass in there and help this woman out.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I think it's ridiculous. The guy was like, it's just like, you know, it's just like people say and they think about somebody, right? Mm-hmm. And they say, you know, I miss this guy. I miss that guy. Or, I should send somebody a note. Then they don't do it. And what happens is it stays in your head.
Yeah.
Well, what good is that do?
But there was somebody. This is from the message board in blackmenvent.com where there was one person was talking about referring to another story about how one person saved another person's life by giving him CPR, but then later, the person who was revived by CPR later sued the guy who performed CPR on him because he fractured his ribs when he hit his chest and stuff like that.
What do you want me for lunch? Not to change the subject here, we're going to go right back to that, but I'm being asked.
Oh, okay. I really don't know. I mean, hey, whoever's...
let's hook up.
Go to the church. I mean, it's free.
What?
The church is free.
Yeah, the church is free.
I was thinking pizza. I was thinking pizza? Well, which one? I mean, there's Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Domino's.
No, let's go to that Doughboy.
Okay, yeah, Doughboy.
Yeah, we'll do
yeah,
Doughboy.
yeah.
Is Doughboy okay?
Doughboy.
Yo, Bruno, make your pizza. Hey, shut that pizza up your ass.
No, I mean,
Mama's a hoe.
Oh, Gelani's?
Ginoli's?
Ginoli's?
Huh.
Market City might work. Okay, well, Market City's pretty expensive, no? Well, let's go there. What the hell?
Okay.
We'll go see the owners, who are so enlightening.
Yeah. I was talking about.
Oh, they have good pizza
Doughboy
also.
like Ice
All right,
Cube.
let's do that. Let's do Market City. Shit, I haven't been in there in a while.
I've never
love
been
it.
there.
Hey,
I've never been there
Seafluck, Geloni 2 cuts and a soda for $4. No shit. Oh. Okay, well, that's cheap. Yeah, it is. Tara's paying bread and butter. I love it. Yeah, he is.
Hello.
Yeah, he's a sport.
Thank you very much.
And by the way, Tara, next week it's on me. We'll try to get together and have lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And what else is going on? Before we go to break, we got 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, Tara, I think we'll do what you said. Let's do Market City.
Yeah, okay, that'll work. Sounds like a plan to me. And you're right, Tara. I said, seriously, regardless of the rules, saving a life trumps all. Yes, that is true. Because I mean, that is a really, that is a really messed up situation where a person has to decide between their job.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, you think about it. He put his job above a life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and even Tower said and made mention of it that life is more important. He should have gone into it. I would tell. Where is it? He said seriously, regardless of the rules, saving a life trumps all.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you?
A life of an innocent person, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but I guess people are just lawsuit crazy. They're afraid to lose their job, and I mean, just like the story, like what I was talking about, the guy who sued the guy who gave him CPR because he crushed his ribs, fractured his ribs while he was giving mouth to mouth CPR and stuff on chest compressions and stuff. I mean, that's an ungrateful.
It's very sad. Yeah. It's very sad that people could be so freaking stupid.
Yeah.
That's biblical. God doesn't like stupid people. He really doesn't.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not a felon it's not a felony to be stupid, unfortunately.
Well,
but in some cases, it should be.
As far as I'm concerned, he's a felon.
Yeah.
Out of towners are welcome, but how would you get here? I'm sure that some of them will figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Seaflow says saving a life comes first. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely you definitely have a point right there.
Yeah, Zimmerman is on trial, by the way, and is on CNN. I think he's. This is just a feeling now. I'm not saying it's a fact, but it's a feeling. I think Zimmerman is going to get something. I don't think he's going to maybe get what they want, but I think he's going to get something.
Yeah, I mean, there's it could go either way. Like I said, when you have an all-female jury, I mean, it could go to the Martin family's way because, no matter if he was a even though he was a delinquent kid, even though he was wearing a hoodie, the bottom line is he's still a minor, and therefore, it's no excuse to shoot a minor, no matter what he's wearing.
Yeah.
Point blank. I mean, they may empathize with it, but on the other hand, it could go either way. It could go to Zimmerman's way because, hey, he's probably doing what he had to do, right to stand your ground, and he was a troubled youth, he was a hoodlum, and who knows what happened, so it could go Zimmerman's way.
He lied. He gave like 4 different versions of the story. The guy's a bullshit artist.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could go. I mean, it's just either way. I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, because especially when they talk about the 911 call where you heard him yelling. Now, first of all, why would an armed person yell? Why would you yell for help if you're the one who's armed? It doesn't. That doesn't make a hill of beans at all.
Well, and here's the other thing. Zimmerman went on Hannity, and the way he explained it, he said that he spread his arms out to try to see and make sure that he didn't have a gun. But meanwhile, his arms were under his body because when he was shot, he probably went like this and then fell down.
Uh-huh.
So he's a big fat Now, especially. He's a big fat liar. So he's been lying through his teeth.
C-Flux
the white
is
woman's
the
voice.
only C-Flux thought I only thought half the jury were, no, is all female jury C-Flux, all females. 5 white females and 1 black Latina. Afro Latina. Yes, man. So I mean
who knows? Well, anyway,
He was dangerous.
you know.
yes, the Queen of Piss Flaps is back. Hello, Michelle Stacy. Glad to have you back. Rocco says, if it was a felony to be stupid, they have to lock up your whole state of Georgia. You're right. That I will agree with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
And that is not a stupid statement. That is a fact. Tara London, what verse is it, Irv? Psalm 2 + 2 = 7. Yeah. Some people see it that way. Morning Room, good morning, cheese for you.
He'll be out.
I love cheese, and so you're already a good friend.
So Rocco says he'll be out in what, 3 years? Huh.
Well, Michelle Stacy says I think he'll get 2nd-degree murder or manslaughter. I think manslaughter.
Probably manslaughter though.
I
really think he should have gotten something for at least attempted kidnapping or abduction by force.
Well,
simple for the fact, if you got a minor and you don't carry a badge and you say, "Hey, get in the car," and that kid gets in your car, that's abduction. That's how many
he had the
kids
gun out during that time may be the sticking point.
Yeah,
he may have just told the kid get in the car, but he didn't have a gun and forced him to get in the car, so that may not fly.
Well,
although
it may, because if he's in
possession,
if he is in possession of it, it probably could, because personally, we know if he didn't have that gun, he wouldn't even confronted him in the first place.
Yeah. Rocco, I agree. He's going to go to jail for 5 to 10, and based on his brown nosing that he does real well, I'm sure he's going to kiss up and give a blowjob to the warden. He'll get out in 5.
Possibly. Plus, not to mention, I mean, that's probably why he was a bad choice. Probably couldn't even get the police academy because he couldn't follow a simple order like stay in your car.
Right.
Do you want that on your? I mean,
Oh, and don't be a vigilante. That was one of the. It's the biggest on the training that he supposedly had, which obviously didn't sink in. He was at the letters that the "do not be a vigilante" was at the top of the list of all the things that they needed to do. That to keep an eye, call the police, but it started out with "do not be a vigilante." Obviously, he wanted to be a vigilante.
Okay. It says, we'll see you guys in Market City. What time? What particular time?
Let's do 11:30, I guess. Right after the show,
Okay. Well, goodness. Look at the time. What time is it? Is there something I hear?
Do I hear the horn playing?
Well, looks like it's 10 o'clock on the dot. Well, not 10 o'clock, going on 10:01 a.m. Down the home stretch.
Tower London, 11:30 is okay? 11:15, 11:30? I just want to make sure before you go.
And they're off. We're down the home stretch. It's 10:01 a.m. We're into the third. We're 2 hours down and 1 to go. One more into the third and final lap. The final hour of the morning roast with Irv, Ed, and DB. 75 degrees sunny with a high of 89 and a low of 73. Don't touch that remote or keyboard and mouse. We'll be right back.
Kick your ass.
Around New Jersey, around the clock. This is News 12 New Jersey.
My daughter saw everything. Saw me get choked and hit and slapped and beaten up.
Caught on camera, a home invasion so violent it's difficult to watch. A young mother viciously attacked in front of her terrified 3-year-old. More details tonight in a story you saw first on 12, and it is truly disturbing. I'm Della Cruz. We waited until this late to show you more of last Friday's brutal attack. The victim says she wants you to see it and hope it leads to the suspect's arrest. News 12 New Jersey's John Kleekamp is outside Millburn Police Headquarters for us tonight. John, that video is very chilling.
Absolutely. As you said, it is hard to watch, but the silver lining here is that Millburn police have that video too, and they believe it's going to help them catch this guy, hopefully before he hurts anyone else. An alarm company was installing a security system at the victim's home on Cypress Street this afternoon. A totally understandable reaction after this. Around 10:30 Friday morning, the young mother of two was attacked by an intruder who did not care that she was unarmed and putting up no resistance, or that her little girl was in the room, watching her mother struggling with a stranger who kicked his way inside. During the assault, she made a conscious decision to take whatever the intruder dished out.
I knew that if I started screaming, my daughter would too, and I was afraid that she would get hurt. I took it. I didn't cry the entire time.
A nanny cam on the mantle captured the whole thing. Brutal punches and vicious kicks that sent her flying. At one point, he places her in a chokehold and slams her to the floor. Then he drags her away. You can hear the dread in her voice. "Oh no," she says, before he shoves her down the stairs. It is video that sickens everyone who sees it. Veteran cops, and of course, the victim's husband.
I was in the room with about 7 officers, and we were all just speechless. It's like an out-of-body experience.
And yet, as hard as it is to watch, the couple say they want people to see it.
They need to help us get him off the streets. He's not just a burglar. You know, he's violent.
He certainly is. She ended up with a concussion and several stitches inside her mouth. He got away with jewelry, several pieces of jewelry, including her wedding ring, but they are grateful that their little girl was not hurt, and their 1.5-year-old son, who was napping upstairs, he was not hurt, and they're very grateful that camera was working. He says he got it working just last week. Now it's their best hope of catching this guy. Anyone who knows who he is or where he is has to call Millburn Police. In Millburn, I'm John Kleekamp, News 12, New Jersey.
Tonight, a family is reeling over the loss of a 5-year-old girl who accidentally shot herself in the head while playing with a gun.
Well, I'm very shocked and just devastated, to know something like that could happen in my family. It's very sad.
She was a sweet, beautiful little girl. All kids are God and they all are good, no matter what. But she didn't deserve this.
Just before 11 this morning, police were called to this home on Galvez Street. Inside, they found the little girl lying on the bedroom floor, shot in the head with a revolver. Family members say the gun belonged to a friend and was just temporarily being kept on the top shelf of a closet.
You got to think first. If you got kids in the house, anything can happen. So kids do climb and things happen.
It's just not permissible for a child to be able to get possession of a gun, especially in their home.
As the rest of the family copes with a life cut too short, they have a message for others.
It is hard when kids are involved. It is. And I feel to believe that every parent who have a gun, they should keep them guns our kids reach.
Well, this week we first brought you the story of a father who...
Well, I played those 2 videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Ed. That's...
One, I want to show you, maybe you need to have a gun. But the other one, if you got the fucking gun, you better know where the motherfucker is and have it locked up and not let a kid get hands on it.
Well,
exactly.
Here's the thing. Yes, at that point, the way that guy was going, I mean, if the woman had a gun, maybe she could have stopped him. Who knows? But again, the way he was overpowering her, he could have used a gun on her. I mean, that's why you put yourself in danger when you introduce a weapon to any altercation or a scene. It's a risk that I'd rather not take. But it's horrible looking at that. It is really a horrible, horrible thing to look at.
It is.
And they don't know what he looks like either because the camera didn't show.
So he got away?
Didn't show his face.
He got away.
So which I was thinking.
But they just installed the surveillance security system last week.
I'm sure they'll catch up.
Now, I was just thinking. Now, truth be told, somebody must have known about the security camera, or at least that person may have some knowledge because he didn't show his face, as you can tell.
He could probably see him when he walked in. I mean, you can't miss those things. They're right out in the open. Unless you got them little expensive ones that hide.
Yeah.
like a screw hole in the wall, and it's actually a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But by two, I agree with you. That's the thing that I've been saying for a long time. If your gun ain't on your hip, it belongs on the lock and key. I agree. Michelle Stacy says, thank you, Spokes. I worry about every day that he will come find me. Well, I'll pray, that he doesn't, but you're well prepared, I'm sure.
Yeah. And truth be told, though, I really have to admit, though, even before seeing this video, after last week, after I called Ed, this is like when you were still in the hospital, someone broke into my next door neighbor's house during the afternoon, which I was kind of quite concerned. Obviously we got some evidence. Hope the police will be looking for this person. We don't know. It must have been an inside job because they kicked out the window of my next door neighbor's window. I got a video of it. You can check that out on my other YouTube channel, Southpaw 2K1. And it seems like it must have been an indoor job or something, or someone must have had like a extra key or something, an extra set of keys, because they were able to get in the house, but they had to break out by force because they must have came in just before, they must have came out just before the neighbor drove around the corner up there. But I'm kind of worried because I'm right next door.
This was recently too, right?
Yeah. This was a little over a week ago.
Well, you know, this is scary. Living here, you know, like I was telling you the other day when we were riding to the hospital, yesterday I think it was, that, you know, sometimes I stay at home and I'm bored to death, and then I think about where I live and I'm like, you know, what the hell do I need to be out on the street for? I'll probably get killed. Maybe I am better off just staying at home. But this is, of course, what the mentality is right now. People are just scared to walk out of their home. I'm not scared. I just feel like, is it really worth it? The risk of going out and possibly being a target of some asshole who's been watching.
Truthfully,
who knows?
Truthfully, I know it's going to take like a good 7 to 8 days to get a gun. But you know, hopefully, I can maybe.
I can go down here for $25 and get one in an hour.
Really?
Yeah. You get anything you want in the hood. Money talks down here, man.
Yeah,
you know how many 6 packs of beer and cigarettes that is? And a couple of rocks?
Yeah. Jeez. Wow. I was thinking about that iPhone case with a stun gun on. I don't have an iPhone, but I've been definitely eyeing that on eBay, that stun gun keychain that they had on eBay for like about $15.
Hey, might as well. At this point, at least you're not killing anybody. You kill something. You can't kill somebody with a heart condition, but I've been tased. I had a heart condition. It didn't do shit to me.
Yeah, but then again, you don't know. There's not that many gangbangers with pacemakers, so you know it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna kill them.
Anyway,
where are you at, Michelle Stacy? That one you the one in Florida?
Yeah, what area are you in, Michelle? You don't have to be very specific.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida's pretty bad. Some of that stuff.
General.
St. Petersburg,
there, especially down south.
She's in Florida.
St. Petersburg. Yeah, I know some friends, childhood friends of mine that live in St. Petersburg, actually.
Well, you do have the stand your ground laws over there, which, you know, to me is what Zimmerman is trying to pull the wool over everybody's face regarding that. But at least you have that law that may protect you.
Yeah.
Let me see. C-Fox says, Vorp, you should stay away from public housing. Vorp says, every single night there is a shooting in the public housing complexes. I know. I lived in one on Staten Island, and it was pretty scary. You would hear the gunshots in the hallways. And, you know, it happened, I would say, a couple of times a month.
Right.
But it was pretty consistent.
Yeah.
And, let me see, I gotta go, then they leave the war zone. I don't go to them, they leave the war zone, I'd see. Michelle says, she said, that's why I moved here, because of the stand your ground law, and my ex being a douche, he is. Well, but if you don't worry about the black shooting you, then you have to worry about the poor whites exploding in meth labs.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
That's true. Hate to say it. Let me see. Nicole, I don't feel safe in my neighborhood if I don't feel at least 3 police helicopters go over. Okay.
Yeah, here's something that's really, really terrible.
Oh.
So speaking of talking about violence,
We got breaking news. Supreme Court in a 5-4 vote. The Supreme Court has struck down the Defense of Marriage Act.
Uh-oh.
There you go. So they cannot discriminate against homosexuals.
Well,
Hey.
you know, there's another case going on about 2 women
Yeah.
that are married that they're not letting them.
Well, Prop 8 decision to go. I'm sure they're going to rule on that, Ed.
You know what I'm talking about? About the court case?
What court case?
The court case that the woman doesn't want to testify against her wife.
Well,
No, I don't know about that.
No. Wow, now that is something, but because
You wanna tell us
I mean,
something?
like,
No.
I mean,
I thought I sent you guys that story.
I thought I did. It didn't.
All right, well, we'll look for it. But
I'm
anyway.
just saying, if they're going to have same-sex marriages, then it should apply the same thing. You can't testify against your spouse in court.
That's what. Yeah, that was just getting ready to say. Yes.
Oh, I see that freedom. Yeah, that marriage people get.
Yeah,
that
but
you
that's
can't
yeah.
testify. They won't cover that. Is that what you're saying? It.
Wow, that is against the law.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of some really bad news about a couple, now some more bad news. Really terrible, tragic. This is from San Diego. It says 3 former Marines were found guilty by jurors of torturing and killing a fellow Marine and his wife in a 2008 execution-style slaying in Southern California. Were sentenced earlier this week. Former.
That's the picture you sent me?
Yes, former Lance Corporal Emery's John, age 23, and former Lance Corporal Tyron Miller, 25, were each sentenced to the death penalty. Former Private Kevin Cox, age 25, was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Their sentences were read to the Hall of Justice at Riverside, California. The sentences were linked to the murders of newlyweds Marine Sergeant John Pietrock and his wife Kiana Jenkins Pietrock. The couple was found gagged, tied, and shot in their head in their Riverside County home in October 2008. Sergeant Pietrock, a helicopter airframe mechanic at the MCAS Miramar near San Diego, was found bloody and beaten. His wife's body was discovered naked. Officials say that she had been sexually assaulted. On June 5th, the 2 separate juries were convicted Cox, John, and Miller of murder. John was convicted of pulling the trigger. Miller was found guilty of murder and sexually assaulting Kiana Jenkins Pietrock. A 4th suspect, former Lance Corporal Keyshawn Sykes of Fallbrook, had his case severed and is awaiting trial. Sykes was known as Psycho by fellow Marines. He's set to be tried sometime later this summer. Earlier this month, prosecutors said robbery was the motive for the crime. Jewelry, including the couple's wedding rings, said Pietrock's dress uniform was found in the suspect's home. Authorities said racial slurs were sprayed in the house and fires had been set in an apparent attempt to destroy evidence.
Wow.
Jeez Louise.
That's very sad. Once again, I mean, what do you think lays hold of that? You got these guys are jealous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she was a black girl with a white guy, and they don't want to see that.
Yeah.
They don't want to see that. They get jealous, and they.
And they were just married for like a few months.
Horrible.
They were just married. They weren't even married for a whole 6 months. They just, and then.
Well.
Some guy just.
Well, who knows? I mean, Rosalind Nicole says, I think instead of giving them the death penalty, they should consider deploying them permanently. Now.
We got Obama fan wants to know if we take call. We gonna take call?
Yeah, why not? You have something to call about? Give us a call.
Yeah, give us a call.
You got something to call about? I'll put the number up.
Yeah, we'll give them a call. Yeah, we'll give them the number up, and which is 478-254. Excuse me, 478-254.
Just remember, all calls are monitored by the NSA now.
Yes, don't forget.
Because
Obama's looking.
And they got spy cameras in your toilets too.
Ew. Okay. So if
it's for future reference. I
let
turned the
us
show
know because
too
we're
late
not
for
going to
that.
keep the number posted up there.
Yes,
Right.
I can't take the hang-ups.
Yes, definitely. It's 478-254-6287 or I Suck Goats.
That's right. Oh, I Suck Goats. Anyway, Obama fans, it's always good to have you with us. Hopefully you'll stick around for future shows while you give us a call. 254-6287. Remember the number.
Mm-hmm.
The Pride Parade is this. So we and our provincial premier, lesbians, marching in it. I'm staying home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they need.
That's up to you.
I think that's
you miss out.
I think Roslyn.
Is he in England?
Too much. Are you in England?
Great Britain?
Yeah, are you in the UK too much?
I don't remember where he's from. Toronto.
Okay.
Roslyn, I
Same
think
thing.
yeah.
Still falls under the Queen.
Yeah. You still bow to the Queen.
Yeah, since they're giving the death penalty, yeah, I think Roslyn, you were definitely right. They need to put them in the most, play them in the most worst place ever. But then again, though, that's still kind of messed up because because even then they could always turn on their superior officers and stuff.
Oh yeah,
when they do that. So that's not even good enough. That's why you don't have convicts going overseas to prison because they could easily turn against their sergeant or whoever's in charge, and they just fight on the other side. You know, they just go straight Benedict Arnold on a.
I think the way this country going, our soldiers eventually going to turn and fight on our side.
Yeah,
if you feel what I'm saying.
Yeah.
By the way, Michelle, yes, says St. Pete has a huge pride parade every year, and I love it. We had one in New York, which I attended numerous times. The people are friendly. They're very accepting in many ways. Of course, you see shit that's kind of freaky. But hey, to each his own. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but it always started at the cradle of pride for the gay community at the Stonewall Bar, of which was just around the corner from where my sister used to live, which I was a part of that community. I worked for a company called Crazy Eddie. If you guys remember, he's the guy that made the company public and in fact built the company out of millions of dollars. And I worked for him during the height of Crazy Eddie's
how crazy!
Yeah, his prices are insane, if you guys remember that. Anyway, so that was right around the corner from Stonewall Bar. A lot of history. And I used to, of course, deal with a lot of movie stars and singers and all that. They would all come in to buy what was known then as the Sony Walkman. That's before the iPod that they have now. That all came from Sony at one time. And it was a great era. I mean, I enjoyed it. I had a great time with it. And it is a shame that in 2013, only 13 states had allowed same-sex marriage. But think about it, it took 13 states to ratify the union.
Yeah.
And so, think of it as a good start. Right? 13 is, people say it's an unlucky number when in fact it is a lucky number.
Yeah, according to the Declaration of Independence, obviously.
Oh, we have some breaking news here.
Yeah, breaking news about Macon City leaders looking to switching to LED street lights. Macon City leaders are looking to alternate street light options, but they're not flipping the switch just yet. On Tuesday, Macon City Council members met with representatives from Philips about swapping out the street lamps for LED bulbs. During the work session, the company explained that the new bulbs are a brighter option and could help reduce the city's budget and potentially lower crime rates. If approved, the new fixtures could be fitted on the existing poles and would save the city more than $10,000 annually. Wow. But in the midst of the consolidation transition, council members say that the bright idea may need to be put on hold. Says Rick Hutto says, I'm not sure if it's the right time to be talking about retrofitting all of our outside light fixtures all the way up and down the street. I like to do it. I'd certainly like to save money, but I'm not sure that this would be the right time to talk about that type of capital expenditure. It says the council is considering all of their options, including solar, before they make a decision on alternative lighting. And there are many advantages to LED lighting, including the savings and more creative options of lighting, said Macon Mayor Robert Rickard. We are encouraging this if it's feasible, because they're kind of kind.
Well, CFOC says the consolidated government should pay for the retrofit, not the city. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to be in this together, then you might as well start footing up some of the money.
DS Photogas says they still have gas lamps that burn 24/7 in some places. Gas lamps? They still have gas lamps, DS? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you never know in some areas. I mean, the gas company's got to make money. I'm sure they're not jumping through hoops to try to change any of those lights. And
maybe they get it from cows, because they have methane gas, from cows and stuff. When
yeah, he says check out Mulberry Street. Maybe there is gas lamps on Mulberry Street.
Okay.
All
right. That's
and he said, sure do. Well, you know what? Mulberry Street is the center of downtown, I guess. So they want to keep it like they usually do in the old days. What else? What else do we have?
Got some news from Ed. It says breaking news. It says that Snowden may be stuck in Russia. It says, we talked about it earlier, but it must be, here's an update. There's a breaking news update. It says time may be running out for U.S. fugitive Edward Snowden to get out of Russia. The former National Security Agency contractor has been holed up in the transit area of Moscow airport since Sunday, but Snowden may only have been given a Russia transit visa valid for 3 days. RIA Novosti cited a source close to the case as saying on Wednesday, earlier this morning, transit passengers who have a ticket for a connecting flight and documents necessary to enter a third country can get a Russian transit visa. The source was quoted as saying that if Snowden has these documents, then he has the right to apply for a transit visa right in the airport, in the consular point, and could have well done that. RIA Novosti reported that Snowden had booked 2 tickets from Moscow to Havana on June 24th and 25th, but did not board either flights. If he has not been able to extend his transit visa, assuming he has one and it is valid for 3 days, it may be about to expire. It is not immediately clear what his legal travel status would be there if his transit visa to expire. The U.S. has already revoked his passport and wants Russia to honor an extradition request. Back on Monday, earlier this week, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange said that Snowden had been given a refugee document of passage by the Ecuadorian government. Ecuador has confirmed that Snowden applied for asylum in the Latin American country. It says that canceling Snowden's passport and bullying intermediary countries may keep Snowden permanently in Russia. Not the brightest bunch at stake, WikiLeaks said on its Twitter feed last night. Russia's President Vladimir Putin confirmed that Snowden was in an airport transit zone at Sheremetyevo International Airport.
Oh.
Okay.
I think we got a call coming in. Morning, Bruce.
You on there?
Good morning, David Kuzno. Here's the guy that's running for mayor.
How about that? Welcome,
Mr. Kuzno, how are you?
David. Welcome, David.
Yes, welcome. Good morning, everybody. The race is on. The mayoral race is going to be, and the county commissioners will be nonpartisan. The date has yet to be set. It has to be set by the county commissioners. They have to give at least for the absentee ballots to be able to come in. So it could be between now and November.
Okay.
Why don't you, did you hear what he said?
Yeah, could you repeat that? It was a little bit, Is the volume up?
The volume is up. David, why don't you repeat that again? I'm sorry. The volume was low. We're all looking at each other, seeing if anybody heard what you said.
Election day has yet to be set. Everything is to go now as nonpartisan. The county commissioners are to set a date.
Great.
At least 45-day notice, so that way absentee ballots have time to come in. So it can be any time between basically the end of August to the 1st of September. That'd be a 45 days, all the way up until November, if they want to have the election then.
Very good. So, but they still haven't nailed down that they know that they made a decision at least to begin to set a date. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. So upcoming. What is it? Newsflash.
The election's on. They just don't.
The election's on. They just don't still know what date it's going to be.
Yeah.
Well,
The commissioners have to set the date.
the commissioners have to set the date. All right.
That's it. There's not going to be no qualifying or anything else. It's going to stay as nonpartisan.
It's going to stay as nonpartisan.
Nonpartisan.
Okay, that decision's already been made, right? And so the only thing that's left now is a date.
That's right.
Okay, sounds great.
There'll be no more newcomers or anything else. It stays as is.
All right, well, very good. Good news to hear, David.
All right.
All righty. When are you coming back on the show?
Now that I'm out politics really hard, it might be really difficult for me to get on there.
All right. Well, you're more than welcome to come on and, let the people know what it is that you stand for, time and time again.
Remember, I'm out here to represent the people of the community and the businesses of the community, not any special interest groups or a political party. I'm here for the people.
I know you are, pal. So good luck with the race, and thank you for calling. Thank you for the update. It's good to know that at least we're getting there. Making is always slow, but at least, hey, we're on the go.
There you go.
All right, bro.
Okay.
Keep it out there, keep up what you're doing, and get the airways going.
You got it, pal.
Hang on. Let me talk to him.
All right.
Hold on.
Anyway, so
Thank you very
that
much.
was David Kuzno. He's one of the candidates running for mayor here in Macon, Georgia.
Yes.
Giving us an update that, in fact, we're going to have consolidation continues, nonpartisan elections, but yet a date still needs to be decided on, but it needs to be 45 days before, I guess, the general election is what he
Yes,
says, right?
Exactly.
Which is in November.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
Not bad. At least we know. I do. Excuse me. I have some celebrity birthdays here for June 26th. There's a few of them. Some of them you know, some that you don't know. I'll try to get some of the ones that you do know. Jeanette McCurdy. She's the actress on iCarly on Nickelodeon. For those who watch Nickelodeon for kids, she turns 21 today. Derek Jeter, New York Yankees shortstop, who's won 5 World Series by his 18th season in 12 All-Star games, and he turns 39 years old today. Michael Vick is number 1 overall pick in 2001 NFL draft for the Atlanta Falcons. He turns 33 years old today. Deron Williams, 29 years old, turned 29 years old today. All-star point guard who played with the Jazz and the Nets and won 2 gold medals with Team USA in Beijing and London, respectively. Ryan Tedder, a singer and songwriter who's the lead singer of the pop rock band One Republic, who achieved commercial success with their single One Love. He turns 34 years old today. Iman Shumpert, NBA shooting guard, was selected 17th overall by the New York Knicks in 2011. He turns 23 years old today. Sean Hayes, Emmy Award-winning actor, best known for his role as Jack McFarlane on Will and Grace. He turns 43 years old today.
Wow.
Pearl S. Buck was born on this day in 1892. She died in 1973. She's a humanitarian author of The Good Earth who wrote about Chinese life. Babe Didrikson Zaharias, she was born on this day in 1911. died in 1956. She was the Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year 6 times in a row. From 1932 to 1954, she was an Olympic gold medal champion, and she later became well known as a great golfer. Samir Nasri, French international footballer, became known as attacking midfielder and winger for the Manchester City and France's national team, turns 26 years old today. JJ Barea, Puerto Rican NBA guard who joined the Minnesota Timberwolves in 2011, he turns 29 years old today. Eleanor Parker, versatile actress in comic and serious romantic roles. She's 91. Country singer Gretchen Wilson is known for her single Redneck Woman. She turns 40 years old today. Chris Isaac, famous crooner and sometimes actor who sang Wicked Game and Blue Hotel. He turns 57 years old. Melanie Ann Amaro, winner of the season 1 of The X Factor. She turns 21 years old. She was the first winner of The X Factor in America. Nick Offerman, who plays anti-government bureaucrat Ron Swanson on the comedy show Parks and Recreation, turns 43 years old. Greg LeMond, he was age 52, turns 52 years old. Not that many people know about him, but he's the first American bicyclist to win the Tour de France back in 1986. So he's the other American who won,
Right.
And he did it without steroids. And Shannon Sharp, retired NFL tight end who was named to 8 Pro Bowls in his 13-year career. He won 3 Super Bowls, 2 with the Denver Broncos, or 1 with the Baltimore Ravens, I think. He's now 45 years old. He's a sports commentator on the NFL Today on CBS. And last but not least, Chris O'Donnell, actor whose many credits including playing Robin in Batman Forever.
Yeah.
And who's now on NCIS Los Angeles. He's 43 years old today.
There you have it. Happy birthday to all these people.
Yes, happy birthday to all of them.
Hopefully they've grown in wisdom.
Yes, they have. We hope so.
We hope so.
Like the zit on my ass.
Some people say suck on stupid, of course.
Yes, and since we had so those who were like Shannon Sharp, who's a commentator on sports, I'll have some sports. Of course, don't have that much on hockey and basketball, NBA basketball, that is. WNBA women's basketball is still playing right now. Hockey, NHL, and NBA basketball, they won't come out until their new season, 2013-2014 season won't start till November, till after baseball is done.
Yeah.
I do have some college baseball, of course.
There we
in
go.
Omaha, Nebraska, UCLA wins its baseball college World Series championship with an 8-0 win over the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Wow.
I was kind of upset. It's like they lost against the Georgia Bulldogs.
That's bullshit, man.
Yeah, that's BS, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Even though the Georgia did win back in 1990, but it was a totally different other Bulldogs. It was Mississippi State Bulldogs. Eric Filia drove in a career-high 5 runs. Nick Vander Tweek limited Mississippi State to 5 hits in 8 innings. And UCLA increased its NCAA record number of national championships in teen sports to 109. 109 national championships in I guess baseball, football, basketball, I guess, and women's sports combined. Wow. They were just racking up. They're not the New York Yankees in titles.
It used to be baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Now it's something else.
And as you know, if you didn't get the chance to hear the news yesterday, Nadal, who just won the French Open last month, he loses to 135th ranked player at Wimbledon yesterday. You were like number 1 and number 5 in the top 5 ranking in tennis, and you get beat by someone who's ranked like 100.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That's pretty
bad.
Now, of course, he was using that he had a bad bum leg.
Uh-huh.
At least some people were saying that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is that even he said, no, he was just a good player. So at least he's a good sport.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Might as well. I mean, he's already been humiliated. He doesn't have to humiliate anybody else.
Yeah, that's definitely true. As you know, the Chicago Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup Finals earlier this week against the Boston Bruins. Won, I think, in 6 games, 4 games to 2, and they won it at Boston. I think they're supposed to have a ticker tape parade later today, if not
great.
tomorrow.
I love parades.
Yeah.
I wonder if the gay pride parade is going to go off at the same time.
Who knows, man?
Now that the Supreme Court ruled in favor. Why
That's
not?
very true. That's very
Throw
true.
it in.
Mm-hmm. Also,
Have a few gay guys in sportswear.
yeah, that's true. That's true. In other news, in tennis, more tennis. 10 years after his first Wimbledon championship, Roger Federer began his bid for a record 8th title at the All England Club earlier this week on Monday with the same dominance he's defined with his grass court greatness. Opening tournament on center court as defending champion, Federer looked right at home as he dismantled Victor Hanescu of Romania in 3 sets. 6-3, 6-2, and 6-love.
Romania.
6-0. Wow, 3 in a row because 3 out of 5. You only have to win 3 sets out of 5 to win the match, and he did it. Wow, in record time. Well, really quick time. This was a grass court clinic from Federer that lasted 68 minutes. He had 32 winners, 7 aces, and 6 unforced errors. Wow, 68 minutes.
That's an hour and
8 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
How about that? Jeez.
Is that quick or slow?
I guess in compared to like other sports events, yeah, that's really fast.
Yeah, and they're cheating you on tickets, no?
Yeah, they're really cheating.
I
mean, a football game.
It's like going to a Madonna concert.
Yeah.
You go in, she sings 3 songs and gets off, and she's always freaking late.
Thank you very much. Yeah. But 6-8 minutes, yeah, that's really quick though. I mean, because a football game is only 60 minutes altogether, game-wise, game time regulation, because you have 15-minute quarters, and then not to mention you have halftime. That's like 30 minutes, so that's at least 2.5 hours.
Wow.
So so 6 to 8 minutes. That's
pretty quick. Well, it's a lot quicker than baseball. You ever go to a baseball game? You're there all day.
Yeah.
I guess that's why they call it America's pastime.
Yeah, because you
pass
the time
a lot
away.
of time and gas there.
That's very
with
true.
With the $10 hot dogs and $20 beers.
Yeah, that's true.
I
got some other sports. I had some scoreboard for baseball. Baltimore Orioles over the Cleveland Indians 6-3. Washington over Arizona 7-5. The Yankees over Texas Rangers 4-3. The LA Angels, dominated the Detroit Tigers 14-8. That's a football game. Boston Red Sox over Colorado Rockies 11-4. Miami Marlins over the Minnesota Twins 4-2. Tampa Bay Rays over Toronto Blue Jays 5-1. Milwaukee Brewers over the Chicago Cubs 9-3. Atlanta Braves just barely squeaked by the Kansas City Royals 4-3. St. Louis Cardinals over Houston 13-5. Wow, it's a lot of hitting. Chicago White Sox defeated the New York Mets 5-4. Cincinnati loses to Oakland A's 3-7. Pittsburgh over Seattle 9-4. The LA Dodgers over the San Francisco Giants 6-5, and Philadelphia Phillies over the San Diego Padres 6-2. There are going to be some games. Atlanta Braves are going to be playing the Kansas City Royals again later tonight at 8:10 p.m. For those who watch and check your local listings or your locals, your cable provider satellite to get the extra time to where you can find those channels. Actually, in some other news, which just to repeat to give a review, the LA Clippers finalizes Doc Rivers' move from Boston. As you know, Doc Rivers was the current head coach for the Boston Celtics. He now has got a change in contract, and he's now going to be the new head coach for the LA Clippers. So maybe he could help the Clippers win a championship, so they won't be known as the other LA team like Chicago Cubs always thought of as the other Chicago team.
Yeah.
But also another news, the report, Yankees general manager is angry at A-Rod for Twitter update.
Good.
Seems like Alex Rodriguez and New York Yankees are not seeing eye to eye on his hip injury. The third third baseman tweeted Tuesday night that his hip surgeon has cleared him to play in rehabilitation games, a move that angers Yankees general manager Brian Cashman, according to ESPN.com. He says that, you know what? When the Yankees went to announce something, we will, Cashman told the website. Alex should just shut expletive up, the GM said, punctuating his comment with a profanity. Cashman added that he planned to get in touch with Rodriguez right away. The general manager did not respond to calls from the Associated Press. As of recently, Rodriguez had a left hip surgery in January 16 and has been working out since May at the Yankees complex in Tampa, Florida. The three-time American League MVP took swings at a simulated game situation for the first time on Monday. Last night, he posted on a message on Twitter, visit from Dr. Kelly over the weekend, who gave me the best news, the green light to play games again. Rodriguez also posted a photo of himself and Dr. Brian Kelly, who performed the operation in New York.
I don't know. This guy is another guy who reminds me of Eric Bonilla. Remember that guy? They were having an orgasm when they signed this guy. And you know what he did for the Yankees? It was nothing.
He was there for a quick check, right?
He was exactly. You know, nothing. It's the same thing with this guy. He was good for what? 2 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, he did give. He did help the Yankees get their fifth ring in this century. Derek Jeter got his 5th ring finally, and you know he played. And as you know, Rodriguez admitted 2009 he used performance-enhancing drugs while with the Rangers from 2001 to 2003. And he's baseball's highest paid player with a $28 million salary this year, but he will lose $7.65 million during a 50-game ban because of reporting positive for steroids. And he's just turning his first tweet next to Twitter. He sent his first tweet May 31st. He expected to return to the Yankees when he gets better after the All-Star break, which will be just before he turns 38 years old this year.
Yeah, he's overdue. He's got to go.
Yeah.
They're paying him too much money already.
Well, yeah, $28 million. But even though he had to
a lot of money,
he got to give away like 7 2/3. So I guess he still ends up with $20 million. So I guess that's nothing to sneeze at. Jeez.
Michelle Stacy says, I remember when a WWE wrestler that killed his family, his doctor was in Carrollton, Georgia, where I lived.
You talking about Chris Benoit?
Yeah, they were saying that it was because of steroids. Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, because he had some roid rage.
Yeah.
He had some roid rage and stuff, and he just flipped out, killed his wife and his kids, and then ended up hanging himself. Yeah, that was a.
I mean, look, Babe Ruth and all the greats.
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle was the other one.
Hank Aaron.
The guy that was married to Marilyn.
Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah, Joe DiMaggio. All these guys didn't take steroids. No. I mean, from what we know of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure if it was around then. But all these guys did it on their own strength, their own stamina, their own talent. All these hobos, just like music is being faked now, with all the synthesizer and fake music and everybody stealing from everybody.
Right.
It's all bullshit, folks. It seems like there is no talent. There are no Beethovens left. I mean, the last prodigy, Michael Jackson, is dead. And
Stevie Wonder.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder and Prince.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
But but you think about this, you know, there's just no there's just no internal talent anymore. Everything comes from what they see on television.
Yeah, it's just
what they hear. Everything is fake.
It's canned sampling. I mean,
yeah, you're right. Prince is one. I love Prince.
Yeah, like I said, I said Prince and Stevie Wonder. Those are
Prince and Stevie Wonder. Let's not forget our beloved Prince. I love that guy. I saw 2 of his concerts. To me, he's one of the most talented individuals I have ever seen perform.
Yeah, he used to write a song per day during the 80s.
Yeah, he's the best.
I'm quite sure. I think he has about thousands. I think he has like thousands of songs written in the vault that hasn't even seen the light of day.
He'll put out one day. His family, I'm sure, will make a living off of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, exactly. Auto-tune now makes Toothless Hillbilly sound good. You're right.
I know. And tell you what, whoever, all these artists who making money out of autotune, they need to give a check to the Roger Troutman family, because he's the one that started it all with Zapp and all this stuff. And I mean, from Teddy Riley to Cher, Justin Bieber, all these other people making these autotunes. You know,
all those people are just absolutely ridiculous. All they use is machinery, and they say, "Oh, I know how to push a button." Of course. You were born right out of your mother's womb. You started playing video games.
Well, yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, it takes discipline to play an instrument. I mean, it doesn't take that much discipline to flip a switch. You know.
Lil Wayne sucks. I'm sorry, Roz. I hate to disagree with you. That guy is ugly as dirt. I mean, he's just ugly.
Yeah, he makes Flavor Flav like Billy D. Williams. I'm just.
Yeah, literally. I mean, you know, come on.
There's not one.
propagating that idea that Lil Wayne is good and awesome is bullshit.
Yeah, Diaz.
horrible.
I agree with you, Diaz, on that one. That is definitely true on that. I mean,
They sound good, but in live, which is all lip sync, sounds like shit. You're right on target there, Michelle. Lil Wayne stomped on American flag, so F him. Yes, Mr. Mike, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's an idiot, trying to be controversial, just like Madonna was and all that. They don't have anything musically to give. All they want to do is get up there and be controversial. And they know, they've all seen the movie with Jerry Lewis and called The King of Comedy.
Yeah, King of Comedy, Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Mhm.
And they've all seen that movie. You know, where bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
All these guys want.
Yeah, which I didn't really see. Not that many people liked it, even though Martin Scorsese directed that movie, though. But it's just kind of hard to see, Jerry Lewis playing that type of dramatic type of role because he was really mean.
Oh, but he was good.
He was good. I mean, but I guess it just
Right.
took people aback.
How's Jerry Lewis talk?
Hey, lady, Dean, why you Dean?
Somebody, somebody.
Oh, that Dean, yeah, what the hell? When you're
Let me see. Can I sing, Dean? And somebody,
like
sometimes.
Not some more. Would you believe that guy made like billions of dollars on that shit? And here we are in the Morning Welsh, and we can't make a spit-ass dime on the shit that we do. That's ridiculous. You see, where true talent lies, it doesn't get paid for it. I'm telling you.
Alvin!
Freaking ridiculous. And that laugh is for that dog that you give me a biscuit. Remember that? I need a biscuit.
Yeah, every singer's had a bad day. Evidently, Justin Bieber has had a lot of bad days laughing on stage.
Justin Bieber's a lesbian
He used to
in
carry a
disguise,
box bag with him.
pretending to be a guy.
Ooh, I need me a lozenge.
But that's funny. You know what? Epilepsy, amen. He's got it, and I'm sure that those that have it, like you've said before, Roz, will have some sympathy with him. But look, Stevie Wonder's blind. I don't like him because I sympathize with his blindness. I like him because he's a genius.
Genius, yeah, because he came out like 12 years old with his very first song, Fingertips. And
yeah, you're right. Justin Bieber needs to be beaten with a meat tenderizer. Justin Bieber.
Michelle Stacy said, remember Sinead O'Connor ripped up a picture of the Pope and spit on it? That was the end of her. Yeah, that was pretty much killed her career.
Yeah, that was, what's her name?
Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah, now she's like some weirdo, and she's still going around
yeah.
bald. Now she's fat, too.
And grew her hair out, fine,
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, 10 minutes.
We got 10 minutes. We're going to do Wordsmith, Who Said It First, and we're going to close out with our daily
Well,
bread.
maybe just do your daily bread. And then
Yeah, let's do our daily
one
bread
more.
now that we have some people on before they run the hell out of here. Because anytime, it's just like anything else. You can. I used to say you can get in the subway car and look at a person and go Thomas Jefferson. They would look at you, right? You could say Elvis Presley and maybe they'll look at you like this. But if you said Jesus right away, oh, don't come near me. I don't want to hear it.
Thank you, Diaz, man. That was
So anyway,
I need to give me some cough drops.
our daily bread for today, June 26, 2013, written by Ann Sidis, is called Her Worst Day Ever. In May 2011, a young woman took cover in a bathtub during a tornado that devastated her city of Joplin, Missouri. Her husband covered her body with his and took the blows from the flying debris. He died, and she survived because of his heroism. She naturally wrestled of his heroism with the question, why? But a year after the tornado, she said that she finds comfort because even in her worst day ever, she was loved. When I think about the worst day ever, I think of Job right away. A man who loved God. He lost his animals, his servants, and his 10 children in one day. Job 1, 13 through 19. Job mourned deeply. And he also asked the why question. He cried out, have I sinned? What have I done to you? Why have you set me as your target? Verse 7 and 20. Job's friends accused him of sinning and thought that he deserved his difficulties. But God said of his friends, you have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has. Verse 42 to 7. Chapter 42, verse 7. God did not give him the reasons for his suffering, but he listened to Job and did not fault him for his question. God assured him of his control over everything, and Job trusted him. Chapter 42, verse 1 and 6. The Lord may not give us the reasons for our trials, but thankfully, even on our worst day ever, we can know for sure we are loved by him. Romans 8, 35 through 39. We're grateful, Father, that you know our hearts with our pain and joy. Thank you that you never leave us or forsake us, as your word tells us. Please hold us close during our trial. God's love does not keep us from trial, but sees us through them. In Job 7:11 through 21, I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Job 7:11. There you have it.
And there you go.
Worst day ever.
I wanted to get into trying to get to our wordsmith and also also our Who Said It First. First said it first. I think it was called All's Fair in Love and War. I guess that's the one.
Wow. Anyway, I'm glad that you guys can enjoy that. We're trying to do that a little bit earlier so that everybody doesn't bomb out of here and miss the word of God.
Rush and then go
should
to
do it before the second break.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Before the second break from now on.
All right, next, what do we got, my brother?
Well, yeah, we have like wordsmith and Who Said It First. I was trying to get into the Who Said It First part. I think I said the Who Said It First because I saw it first. It was All's Fair in Love or Who Said that particular.
Are you lost? Because you look like you're lost. It's on your Facebook.
No, I see he's trying to get up on the screen. His screen is kind of delaying here.
Yeah, it's kind of delayed.
So maybe bidding for time.
Virus.
Yeah, I got to slow because I had like 4 gigs left.
That's what you get for buying a Mac. I hate those computers.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Ant left his laptop here somewhere. You can use
that's right.
Yeah, the notebook. There's an actual notebook. Yeah.
Yeah, too much porn, Derek. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I keep warning you about that.
That's funny.
You need
Michelle.
to stop sending me those things in Dropbox, man.
Oh,
Lord. Here it is. Who
got
said
all
it
those
first?
Viruses now. Too much porn and virus. Get it?
Who said it first? All's fair in love and war. The centuries have smoothed out the syntax a little, but the meaning is clear. And John Lilly's Euphues, E-U-P-H-U-E-S, Euphues, The Anatomy if Wit, published 1579. It says, written in the elaborate and artificial style euphuism that was eventually named after it, there is the line. Any impiety may lawfully be committed in love, which is lawless. Okay? It's kind of out there, but I see what he's saying.
I don't know what the word is. What's the word? Or who said it first?
He says, all's fair in love and war.
Oh, all's fair in love and war. Oh,
yes.
I see.
And
yeah,
now,
I've heard that before.
And now here's the word of the day, the word origins, and this particular word is cesspool.
Yeah. That kind of goes with daily bread. Your worst day ever. Living in a cesspool.
Cesspool has no direct etymological connection with pool. It comes from the Old French suspiril, ventilator, breathing hole. Blow. A derivative of the suspire, breathe, which goes back to Latin suspirare, a source of the archaic English suspire, sigh. This was borrowed into English in the early 15th century as suspiral drain pipe.
Wow.
Which in the subsequent 200 years appeared in a variety of spellings, including suspirale. By the 16th century, we find evidence of its being used not for a pipe to drain matter away, but also for a well or tank to receive matter thus drained, originally any effluent, not just sewage. The way was thus open for a reinterpretation of the word's final element as pool by the process known as folk etymology. And in the late 17th century, the form cesspool emerged. By analogy, as if there were really a word cess, sewage, the term cesspit was coined in the mid-19th century.
Wow.
Which later confirmed became cesspool.
Well, that was
quite nasty.
Quite nasty there. Very intriguing. Good to know. Michelle says that when she was young, she used to have to dig up a cesspool, or her.
Yeah, you gotta make sure
that's some
downhill
nasty
from
shit.
Your well. You
Boy.
don't want your septic tank
You're
uphill from your well.
You were Cinderella, I guess, in your
See
family.
what the roast is brewing.
You have mean people.
You don't want to smell. You don't want to smell that.
Good morning, DJ
Gross
Mean.
everybody out.
Long time no see, my brother.
Just before lunch. Gross them all out.
Good morning.
Anyway,
DJ
I'm sorry
MG.
that you only got 2 minutes to watch the show, but we had a lot of stories today.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of them from the.
Yeah,
I think he was just trying to be
story.
polite by showing up just before the end. He was just trying to be polite.
Oh, well. DJ Mean is a great guy. If anybody knew this guy, they would love him right away. By the way, we had a cesspool full of stories today.
Yeah, a whole lot of stuff about the Marine and his newlywed wife. They were killed by 3 other former Marines and stuff.
Right.
They killed him and they made him watch his wife get sexually assaulted by them, and then after they killed them, they tried to burn the house down to get rid of the evidence. That's a
And we have the
sick way to
Supreme
go.
Court decisions on both yesterday's ruling where they gutted out the Voting Rights Act, and of course today on same-sex marriage. We had a couple of videos of abuse of women. Quite ugly to look at. Boy, we had a ding-dang doodle of a
story.
day.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
A lot of stuff going on. Oh, Hernandez.
A lot of shit going on.
Being arrested.
Cesspool, yeah. Talked about
the football player Hernandez. Who's looking at.
Yeah, Chicago's
some
supposed to
time.
have a ticker tape parade later today or tomorrow after winning the Stanley Cup, beating Boston yesterday. But anyway, while we're here, I just want to say hello. Goodbye to all our guests.
Albert Killer says, "What's the URL in the Marine story?" He'll put it up, man.
Yeah, I'll put it up. After I just have to dig it up. We want to say thank you for all our guests: C Fluke, DJ Mean Gene, Diaz Photo Guy. Thanks for staying by. Also, Earl Big Skillet, thanks for coming by. Also, Rosalind Nicole, Ellen Macon, cheese for you. Wow, okay.
We love you, Roz. We love you.
All right. Funky Dillo, it's Nick, Johnny, Michelle, Stacy, Nical 3000, Snow Sparks, and Obama Fan 11, and Guest 193. You have a great day. Also, tomorrow there's going to be Thirsty Thursday. And speaking of Thirsty Thursday, I think Lifetime is supposed to have this crazy made-for-TV movie, but it's now nobody doesn't get killed by some murder. It's basically a made-for-TV biop of the late playmate Anna Nicole Smith called Anna Nicole. That's going to be premiering its world premiere tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on the Lifetime
That's going to be a really big
movie.
Big booby deal.
Yes.
For a lot of people. Anyway, thank you again, chatters. We're very grateful for you sticking around. Also, Rocco was here, Tara London, thank you, and some others.
Yes.
That we're here early on.
Yes, it's 11:01, going on 11:02 a.m. right now. It's 77 degrees and sunny. It's still sunny, at least for right now, because there's supposed to be some later scattered showers and thunderstorms later on today. Keep your umbrella handy. Keep your BFF handy.
Umbrella,
hey. Keep your.
We're going for pizza, dude.
Oh yeah.
On end. I love it.
Yes. Anyway, just keep yourself clean, keep yourself cool, and also remember, we'll see you tomorrow. And can you smell what the roast is brewing?
All right, guys. See you tomorrow.
We hope it's not a cesspool. I'm gonna blow you to smithereens.